Hello, my name is Kim, and in this timeless reading, we are going to find out what it is that you can expect and or look forward to in the next 3 months. Now, for this reading, I will be sharing with you intuitively channeled messages, and I will also be working with both Oracle and Tarot cards to channel information about the first, second, and third month of the next 3 months. Now, please keep in mind that this is a timeless reading. So the next 3 months could be from whenever you happen to be watching this video, or it could be any next 3 months of your choice. Now also keep in mind that energy is quite malleable and it doesn't necessarily adhere to a specific timeline, time frame, or window of time. So although I will try my very best to look at each month of the next 3 months separately, some of the energies picked up on one month could seep into the coming months. So just keep that in mind as I'm delivering the messages, okay? But now let us take a closer look. And with that being said, let us now take a closer look at the options. So there are 3 different groups to choose from. Starting off, representing group 1 is Night. Representing group 2 is Balance. Representing group 3 is Fire. Please take a moment to meditate on the options and whichever illustration or card you are drawn to the most, and that will be the group and a reading that has the messages you are meant to hear at this moment. And once you have selected, please head on over to either the description box or the pinned comment in the comments section down below, where the timestamps that will allow for you to skip ahead to your selected group can be found. Okay, and if you are ready, then let us get started. Let's go. Hello Group 1, this is Kim from the future, here to let you know that there is going to be a discrepancy in the audio quality throughout your reading. The reason why is I worked with the wireless mic for your reading and didn't notice that it kept connecting and disconnecting all throughout, which messed with the audio quality. I did attempt to redo your reading, but it wasn't working out, which led me to believe that this reading was meant to be kept as is, but I did change the audio settings to hopefully improve the audio quality so it won't be as offensive to your ears. I truly apologize and I thank you so much for your understanding, especially if you do decide to stick around for the entirety of this reading. Thank you so very much. Hello, if you were drawn to Night, bienvenidos to your reading. So a couple of messages came to mind when meditating on the energy of this group, which were reach out into the night and take a hold of tomorrow. Withstand the heat, withstand the cold. We've got this, you've got this. Be strong, a new order or a new world order. Okay, so I feel like in the next 3 months, you are persevering, pushing through, because the message reach out into the night and take a hold of tomorrow made me think of seizing the day, seizing the moment, seizing the future. So you're not letting any minor inconveniences, any setbacks and or delays detain you from reaching any kind of goal that you set for yourself or from moving forward, because you're seeing beyond the inconveniences. You're seeing the way through obstacles. You know that a new dawn, a new day awaits, and you're reaching out for what lays on the other side. And so because of this, I am sensing or picking up on optimism. So in the next 3 months, or for the majority of the next 3 months, you will have an optimistic outlook on life or on a specific situation. And it's going to be very difficult for anything or anyone to deter you from any kind of goal or anything that you set your mind on. And with the messages, we've got this, you've got this, in the next 3 months, you will have a support system or support from others. It could be from a loved one or a group of people. Or what else I'm sensing is you will be receiving support from different people throughout the next 3 months, but support you will have at all times. And I do also see you encouraging yourself a lot. It's like you are going to be, the word trainer came to mind, like your own personal trainer, your number one cheerleader. You will have your own back, which is nice to see because it's nice to have support from others, but it's also extremely nice to experience support coming from ourselves. And you will have that in the next 3 months. Because the message be strong, I felt like it was coming from you. Like you were telling yourself to be strong as a reminder to yourself of your own inner strength, of your ability to see something through, to get something going, get something started, or to do what is right for you, what is the best for you. And with the message, a new order or a new world order, I kind of feel like this is a heads up for a lot of you that the next 3 months could be a time of preparation for some kind of transition that you are going to experience maybe within the next 3 months or right after this 3 month period. It feels like you are setting foundations, you're preparing for, this is what came to mind, a new agenda, a new order, a new way of doing things, a new lifestyle perhaps, or life approach perhaps. The illustration in the night card is making me think of someone who is journeying, and they're journeying far. They're either literally migrating to new lands, relocating, because the bird did make me think of migration, or this journeying could be a little bit more symbolic and metaphorical in the sense that someone is starting some kind of new journey, or they are redirecting the course of their life. They're redirecting their focus because maybe now they have new goals, or they're journeying, they're transitioning because they are starting anew. I do feel like a lot of you could be physically moving pretty soon. Maybe within the next 3 months, you're making preparations for some kind of physical move. Or after this 3 month period, you will find yourself making plans to relocate, to move to a new location, maybe not abroad, but you're still moving nonetheless. Yeah, because I keep seeing in my mind's eye someone packing up. And there's this feeling of finality, like once I move, that's it, I'm not looking back. I close whatever this chapter is for me, and I start my new chapter without any baggage from my previous chapter. Like I'm ready to start anew, start afresh, or start new. Okay? The night could be pretty significant. If you are planning to travel at some point in the next 3 months, maybe you're traveling at night, or what I'm seeing for those of you who are planning to take a trip overseas, or you are moving somewhere pretty far away, wherever it is that you are traveling to or moving to, its time zone is going to be drastically different from wherever you are currently located. So nighttime over there is daytime where you are currently located. What else I'm sensing is that in the next 3 months, you are going to experience better sleep. The expression light as a feather is coming to mind. And what is being conveyed to me is that while you are asleep or dreaming, you're going to feel as light as a feather, so that when you wake up, you're going to feel quite refreshed. In other words, you will be getting better sleep throughout the next 3 months, or for the majority of the next 3 months. And you will also be dreaming a lot more. But your dreams are going to be very soothing or very encouraging, is how it's coming through. Some of you could be having flying dreams, like dreams in which you are flying, or where you have this higher perspective, like you're seeing your dreams from above. Yeah, and they're going to be very vivid dreams. Some of you could be experiencing lucid dreaming at some point in the next 3 months, or you will be having one or quite a few astral traveling experiences throughout the next 3 months.
Yes, because I sense some of you visiting foreign places in your sleep while you're dreaming. And so that makes me think of astral traveling, astral projecting, or of remote viewing as well. Yeah, so you could be experiencing one of those in the next 3 months. Pretty interesting. Okay, but now I'm going to move on to the rest of the cards. I sense the night to be pretty significant for you guys. It's as if during the night, you will feel the most free, liberated, or at peace. Some of you could be experiencing cool nights. It could also be that it will be during the night when you will feel the most inspired to create, to journal, manifest, meditate, visualize, possibly even do some spell work or set intentions, if that resonates with you, or daydream. Yeah, because a lot of you use daydreams as a way to manifest, attract, call in, or direct your focus, direct your intentions, your energy. Okay, but we have the third house with Sun and Gemini, versatility. I just heard in my mind, it is at night when I see you. And then we have the ninth house with Saturn and Sagittarius, fulfillment. So the message, it is at night when I see you, could be indicating that it is at night when you see your vision some more clearly, when you are more clear as to what it is that you want, desire, or what it is that you're aiming for, or what it is that you're being guided to do next, possibly. Or you feel the more hopeful, the more optimistic about your prospects, your future. And we have the ninth house with Venus in Sagittarius with flirtation. So double Sagittarius energy. So the zodiac signs Gemini and Sagittarius could be of significance. You could have these placements in your big three, your sun, moon, or rising sign, or in one of these houses. Ooh, the third or ninth house. You could also have a very significant ninth house placement. I'm seeing a lot of Sagittarius energy here. You could also have a lot of Sagittarius placements in your natal chart. Or someone who has these signs or placements could be playing a very significant role throughout or at some point in the next 3 months. Now, something else that is coming through is in the next 3 months, it could be that it is only during the night that you are able to meet up, catch up with, or connect with, or spend the most time, quality time with a loved one. It could be because of a time zone difference or busy schedules. Yeah, because what came through is someone could be longing to be with another. Because what I heard in my mind was, I wish I could travel towards you. I wish I could go and see you, travel to be with you. So some of you could be in a long distance relationship, or in the next 3 months, or for the majority of the next 3 months, you could be at a physical distance from a loved one. And if that happens to be true or the case for you, I do want to let you know that you will still be able to maintain contact with this loved one and keep up to date with said loved one, regardless of the physical distance. So physical distance will not be an obstacle for your connection or your relationship, okay? If you are worried about that. But I feel like you're not. I feel like the majority of you are not. You know that physical distance cannot and will not tear you or keep you apart. Your connection runs deeper than that. But to clarify versatility, we have the Nine of Cups. For fulfillment, we have the Ace of Cups in the reversal. And for flirtation, we have the Ace of Pentacles and the Five of Cups. So let me just make sure that everything is in frame before I get started. Okay, so for the first 30-ish days, let's say, or first month, I do see you being pretty busy or keeping busy. You are learning to be quite versatile, or you're testing your versatility abilities during this time. Or you're learning that you are quite versatile, that you can handle different things. Because I do see you having your hands or your fingers in many pots. So during this time, you could find yourself being involved in many things, hobbies, or areas of study, perhaps. Although we don't have the Two of Pentacles here, I am getting Two of Pentacles energy, which can speak about juggling. So I do see you juggling quite a bit. I wonder if you are students, because the example that is coming to mind is someone taking different classes or taking classes that relate to different fields of studies. I'm also seeing someone who is going to school, but they're also working, or who is attending classes, but they are also part of clubs or organizations. They're doing after school activities. Or someone who is maybe working full time, but they're taking classes, courses on their free time. That could be related to their work or could be related to something else entirely. Right? I'm also seeing something like someone is working full-time or part-time, but they are also hustling on the side. Or they're starting their own business, working to launch or open their own business on their free time. But with the Nine of Cups, whatever it is that you are working on, focusing on, that could be extra or seem like extra because you're doing it on the side or you're doing it in addition to whatever it is that you were already doing previously. It is something that you are quite excited about, or it is emotionally fulfilling you. Because the Nine of Cups does speak about happiness, joy, and emotional fulfillment. But whether or not you are doing something on the side, something in addition to whatever it is that you were doing previously, I do see you still being pretty excited throughout this period. It seems like whatever it is that you're focusing on, you're quite happy and are content with. I also see you feeling quite pleased with your schedule, with your routines. And if you're finding yourself quite busy during this time, I sense that you won't mind being as busy as you are or you will be throughout this period. Because again, you're feeling quite fulfilled by whatever it is that you are keeping busy with. I'm feeling a sense of pride, or someone feeling proud about their routine maybe, or how they are handling things, how they are going about things, or they're feeling quite proud of what it is that they're focusing on, prioritizing, or have filled their schedule with, is how it's coming through. And for those of you who are creatives, creators, you will be trying new things. Yes, I do see you working or focusing on passion projects or projects that you will find yourself being quite happy and or excited about or content with. But I also do see you taking on things that are challenging you in a way that is stimulating you, creatively stimulating you, and pushing you to tap into untapped potential of yours. Because I do feel like regardless of whether you are a creative or creator or not, or see yourself as one, during this period, you will discover or develop new skills. You will find that you're quite good at something, or more than one thing actually. Like the train of thought that I'm getting is, hey, now that I tried this out and seen that I'm pretty good at it, or I can actually get better at this, that I can pursue a career in this, or if I wanted to, I could make this a profession, or I could start a business related to whatever this is. Yeah, so some of you could have that train of thought at some point during this period. And I'm feeling excited. It's like you are feeling quite excited because you're discovering new things about yourself, new passions, or the fact that you can take a different route, like a different career path if you wanted to, or that there is more out there, that you can widen your horizons if you wanted to. And the Nine of Cups often indicates wish fulfillment, getting something that you wanted or expected. So I do feel like during this period, things are working out for you, or some things are working out for you. And that is, in a way, boosting your confidence or getting you the more excited about the future, what is to come, or what you can create, your prospects. Now, the third house is the house of communication. It is also the house of early learning and short trips or short distance trips. So some of you could be commuting quite a bit, but what I'm getting mostly is like remote. I was going to say remote traveling, but that doesn't make sense. Like remote working from home, like being able to take your work with you, being able to work from wherever you want, or taking classes or attending school from wherever you want. So some of you could be taking online courses. But I'm also getting a bit of like a hybrid thing where during this period, you will be given the option to either do something in person or do it online, right? So like if you want to attend class in person, you can. And if you want to attend it online, you can as well. Yeah, because I feel like strong Aquarius energies, maybe because of the star here, Aquarius is associated with the star card in traditional tarot, which is making me think of the internet, online, the web. Some of you could own an online shop, or maybe you're developing one or starting one this month. Maybe that's your side job, that maybe you're working to make your full-time gig job. Maybe that's the wish. Yeah, if you're working on something on the side because your wish is for this to be your main priority, to become something tangible, concrete, the Nine of Cups is here to tell you that this wish of yours will be granted. So to keep on going, right? To not give up, keep on going, because you're getting closer and closer to fulfilling this wish of yours, as well as achieving this goal or making this dream a reality. You're so very close is the message that is coming through. And maybe you will be seeing signs that this wish will be fulfilled. And I do see an improvement in communication. So this could be something like your communication between you and another is improving during this period. Or what I'm sensing with the Nine of Cups is that during this period might be when you will feel a desire to communicate with someone more, or for communication to improve between you and another. Because what I was sensing with the Nine of Cups is that for some, even though you are feeling very happy, fulfilled, and excited during this time, you might still find yourself at times feeling a little melancholic, because there is someone that you wish were with you to experience all of this happiness and excitement or joy with. Yeah, because the person in the Nine of Cups is looking a little down. It gives me this feeling of everything is perfect, but it could be even the more perfect if I only had the 10th cup. Like, I'm missing my 10th cup. So for some, that 10th cup could be a significant other, maybe someone who is at a distance or will be at a distance, physical distance from you during this time, or maybe someone who is pretty busy, who maybe during this time you can't spend a lot of time with. Doesn't mean that you are in a no contact situation. It's just that maybe you can't spend as much time with them as you would want to, because that's the feeling I get here. It's like someone wishing that they could communicate more with another, spend more time with another, or there's this feeling of someone wishing that they could share something with another. This energy feels quite sweet, actually, and it just proves and shows how much you care for certain people in your life, and that if you do end up feeling this way, that you do have people in your life who you share this beautiful bond with. It shows a lot about your relationship with your loved ones.
So yeah, but I do want to reassure you that even though you might not be able to share one or a couple of experiences with certain loved ones, there will definitely be other experiences that you will be able to share with your loved ones, right? Because this could be like the example that is coming to mind is like a student being given the opportunity to travel somewhere. Or this could be like a work opportunity, like someone needing to take a business trip that may not be extended to a loved one or a family member. Or, difference in schedule might not allow for you to be able to share a certain experience with another. But I don't feel like this is anything grave or anything that it's going to negatively affect your relationship or even negatively affect your experience. I feel like it's just going to be a reminder of how much someone means to you and overall how much your relationships mean to you as well, which is a beautiful thing. And for those of you who this is pertaining to a loved one who has passed on, this just goes to show how strong your bond still is with this loved one. Because remember, bonds like this, they transcend the physical, okay?
And actually, some of you could be feeling this way even if there isn't anyone in specific, like any specific person who you wish would be with you to experience something together. Because for some, this could be more like, oh, everything is going great in my life, but it would be the more great if I had like a romantic partner or if I had a best friend, a chum to experience this with. Or if I just had a romantic partner, then everything else I am experiencing would feel the more richer or would be worthwhile, or everything for me will feel complete or perfect. And if that is the case, it's okay for you to feel this way, feel your feels. It's okay for you to long for something in specific that maybe you feel you don't have at this moment, or to want to experience something with a loved one. There's just a heads up here to not let this detain you from enjoying your here and now. Because I'm getting something like watering down your joy and your excitement, because you either feel like you can't be as happy about it as you truly are, since you feel you're missing something, or because you cannot experience this joy with someone in specific. So either you can drink from all of your 9 cups that you do have right now, knowing that the 10th cup will soon come, that is bound to come because it is, or you can choose to empty all of the 9 cups you have because you don't have that 10th cup. It's up to you, but I feel like you're being advised to enjoy your 9 cups for the meanwhile. Right? That doesn't mean that you have to ignore your emotions and your feelings, your longings. Yes, acknowledge them and feel through them, but don't let that prevent you from enjoying your 9 cups, enjoying what is happening in the here and now, because you deserve to enjoy it. These are your 9 cups. This is your gift to you. These are your blessings. This is the fruition of your hard work. So commemorate it, take pleasure in it, enjoy it.
And for those of you who have been awaiting communication from someone, you will be receiving this communication throughout this period. There is a possibility for networking here. So you could be invited to a social event where you will be able to network quite a bit if you wanted to. During this period, you could make a lot of important connections or possibly even form beautiful bonds or start relationships, like platonic or professional relationships during this period. Because the 3rd house makes me think of friendships. I don't know why. Yeah, so that could be the case for some. There could also be opportunities for collaborations, to creatively collaborate with another or to work with another, be able to brainstorm with another, bounce ideas off of another.
Okay, now moving on to the 2nd month, or the next set of 30-ish days. We have the 9th house, Saturn in Sagittarius with fulfillment, and the Ace of Cups in the reverso. So it's interesting how we spoke about emotional fulfillment before with the 9 of Cups, and then we literally have the word fulfillment. So I do feel like in terms to either school, career, even finances, things are going pretty well for you. I do feel like a lot of wishes in terms to those areas of life are starting to come true. According to the guidebook, the fulfillment card indicates a successful culmination to an ambition or business venture. So by this point, I do see you either getting closer to achieving one or more goals or actually achieving a goal of yours. It could be a long-term or a short-term goal. Because we had the third house here, for a lot of you, this could be a short-term goal, but that means a lot. It's like a very important step towards achieving a long-term goal of yours. And with Saturn being here, I do feel like whatever it is that you are achieving and or accomplishing or getting closer to achieve during this time, it is something that required a lot of effort from you, or that you did apply a lot of discipline, self-discipline, in order to achieve this, obtain this, or make this happen. So I hope that by this point you feel very, very proud of yourself, because I feel like you have come a long way. The ship here in the background makes me think of that. And you know, the key term fulfillment also makes me think that for a lot of you, this may not necessarily have to do with anything material, like a career, financial, or even academical. This could have something to do with like personal development, a self-healing journey. The money bag here makes me think of stability. Like maybe for some, you have been working towards being kinder to yourself, being less judgmental of yourself, because the finger here that is pointing and also the dagger does make me think of like self-betrayal, self-sabotage, judgment, self-criticism. So if there were any of that in the past and you were kind of working towards releasing or healing those tendencies through self-love or radical self-acceptance or emotional regulation, even logic, thinking about things logically and rationally, then I do feel like you have made great advancement, and it's showing during this time. So I do sense that you're seeing a lot of forward movement and a progress development in more than one area of life. And I also do feel like doors of opportunity are opening up for you, because with the ninth house being the house of overseas traveling, higher education, foreign languages, foreign culture, a lot of you could be getting an opportunity to travel. I did give an example of a business trip, someone going on a business trip, or a student through their school being given an opportunity to travel. And I do see that being the case for you, where you could be either going on a business trip or a school trip, or extended an offer to travel overseas to work on a project or pursue higher education or be part of a school program. Maybe even represent a school, for example. Yeah, because the hook here makes me think of like a good catch. And then this gentleman extending their hand makes me think of an offer. It could also be that someone from abroad could be extending you an offer. This could be an individual, or it could be like a company that is situated somewhere abroad or at a physical distance from you. They could be contacting you, offering you a job, or offering you an opportunity to collaborate with them, something along those lines. So it's interesting to me that the Ace of Cups fell out in the reversal, because this could indicate a lack of emotional fulfillment. Aces normally speak of new beginnings, and I am noticing that you actually have two aces in your spread. One is in the reversal and the other is in the upright. So I do feel like there is some kind of new beginning you are experiencing at some point in the next 3 months. And most likely towards the end of the next 3 months, maybe on the third month. But during the second set of 30-ish days, let's say, or the second month, I feel like you're pretty much still invested and are working on whatever it is that you began on the first month of the next 3 months. And so this is sort of giving me the same vibe I was getting during the first month. And in my mind's eye, I keep being shown, I'm not sure if the way I'm about to phrase it is correct, but a circle that is not closed, sort of like this. And that makes me think of the word incomplete. So I wonder if maybe what some of you are feeling during this time is a sense of incompleteness, like something is missing. Again, the very same feeling that I was picking up during the first 30 days or the first month. Like, if only I had this, then everything would be complete, everything would be perfect, or I would feel complete. And it's interesting because, we have the 9 cups here, and then with the Ace of Cups, this would be that 10th cup, right? So I sense that throughout this period, there is something that you might feel like you're missing or that is missing in your life. And this could be something different for each one of you, but I do feel like for a lot of you, this thing, it has to do with emotional fulfillment. So now I wonder whether you are receiving a lot of fulfillment, but in other areas and other things. So maybe you are creatively or mentally fulfilled
through creative, mental, or intellectual stimulation. But when it comes to emotional fulfillment, you might feel like something is lacking or missing, as mentioned previously. And I don't feel like there is a complete lack of emotional fulfillment. It more so feels like the cup isn't overflowing. And I wonder if this is a situation in which maybe there was something that you thought would make you extremely, extremely happy or emotionally fulfilled or satisfied, and then you got it, and it was fulfilling, but not to the extent or degree that you had expected and or anticipated. And so it could have felt anticlimactic a little bit, or because of this, you could find yourself at some point kind of taking a step back to ask yourself, wait, am I disappointed because this isn't what I wanted? Or am I feeling dissatisfaction because the cup, even though it's filled, let's say the emotional cup, it's not overflowing? Am I disappointed because I'm actually not happy? Or is it because something didn't meet some kind of expectation? Because I am sensing happiness. That's the interesting part about this, that I am sensing happiness, I am sensing joy. I do feel like some kind of wish is being fulfilled, or you are obtaining that which you've been working towards to, working for, or aiming for. But still, with the Ace of Cups being in the reverse, it seems like there is a part of you that is kind of still waiting for something. And so I, again, have to wonder whether maybe still at this point there is someone who you wish to share something with who is not maybe able to be with you, to share this with you at this time, or there is someone who you wish to maybe spend more time with, because during this time you're not spending as much time with them, and that's why you're feeling like something is missing. Or if it is the case that you have achieved everything you wanted, but there is still something that has yet to manifest or come to pass, and that's the very thing that you're waiting for to allow yourself to be overflowing with joy, contentment, and happiness. And if that is the case, again, all that is being asked of you is to not kind of put a stopper on your emotions because you feel like you need to wait in order for things to be complete, because life is here and now. Your life is here and now. And so this idea that only till I have this, only till I experience this, only until I obtain this is when I will be completely and utterly happy, or is when everything will be perfect, could oftentimes be the thing that deters you from experiencing the true joy and happiness that is already unfurling within you. For others of you, this could be an indicator that maybe you have outgrown something, or that by this point you're coming to realize that which you thought where happiness lied or stemmed from is not actually the root of happiness. Or that just because something looks good on paper does not guarantee that it will be fulfilling. As an example, let's say person A took on the most reputable and high-paying job, only to find that although it pays very well, it bores them terribly. So then they find themselves wondering if the good pay is worth remaining in a job that is uninteresting to them. So on the second month, some of you may be coming to terms with the fact that possibly you have outgrown something that used to fulfill you, while others of you may simply be contemplating whether you can remain in a situation or keep at something that is unfulfilling to you. Because for some, during this time, it could be that you might find yourself feeling or being a little bored or just not as emotionally invested. And it could be because something is starting to bore you or it's starting to feel a little unfulfilling. So if that is the case, I think this month would be a perfect time to just take a moment to really consider whether you are feeling this way because you have grown out of something, or you're craving something new, something different, or it's just that you're currently going through some kind of lull, right? It's just like a momentary phase of lackluster that is happening during this month. And for others of you, I know I'm giving different interpretations, and it's because different interpretations are coming through, so only take that which resonates and applies to you, and leave what does not, because remember, this is a general reading. And if more than one interpretation applies to you, then that is okay, right? Remember, we are intricate, complex beings, all of us, and so we might be experiencing and going through different things at the same time. Just goes to show that you're a gem with different facets, or an onion with different layers. But what else I'm seeing with the Ace of Cups is, for those of you who are in a relationship, the Ace of Cups in the reversal is letting me know that you are in a committed relationship by this point, because how I interpret it is that the Ace of Cups in the reversal is indicating that you're not looking for a new partner. You're not looking for anybody new. You're still very much committed to who you are in a relationship with. Like, no, yeah, I'm still very much into my partner. Thank you very much. But for those of you who are single, it could be that what you are longing for or waiting for is romance. A romantic partner, romantic love, a life mate, possibly. If not that, it could be like a best friend, a partner in crime. Yeah, but definitely I feel like a lot of you are looking for something more long-term, for commitment, like a long-term partnership, relationship, a long-term friend, a life mate, or possibly more interaction with a specific person or specific people. But now I'm going to move on to the third and last month. So we have Venus in Sagittarius, the 9th house, clarified by the Ace of Pentacles and the 5 of Cups. So I know that the number 9 is indicating the 9th house in astrology, but the number 9 in and of itself also often indicates, well, at least to me, the moment right before the ending, the phase or the stage in which we're getting ready to wrap something up. We're kind of preparing for some kind of ending, to enter into a new beginning. So seeing that we have 2 number 9s in your spread and then 2 aces, I do feel like this 3-month period could be a period in which you are kind of preparing for some kind of transition, whether you are aware of it or not. You're getting ready to step into and or experience a new beginning. And for a lot of you, this new beginning could be in the area of career and finances, because we do have the Ace of Pentacles showing up in the upright. And Pentacles has to do with everything that is material and tangible. Pentacles also often talk about commitment, something that is more long-term, which we kind of spoke about before. So I do feel like a lot of you are getting ready to commit with the flirtation card and planet Venus showing up for you, which is the planet of love and beauty. A lot of you could be looking into committing to another, settling down with another. Yeah, so for a lot of you, on the 3rd month of the next 3 months, a relationship could be moving on to the next level of commitment, right? What started off as flirtation and dating is now getting or looking a little bit more serious. But for others of you, especially for those of you who are single, during this time, you could be meeting someone who you see yourself being in a committed relationship with. Because I do see you either going on dates with someone during this time or just flirting. Yeah, romance is definitely in the air. So I definitely see you having romantic feelings for someone during this time, spending quality time with this person who you do have romantic feelings for, and getting to know them. And as you get to know them, that's when you could start picturing yourself being with them in a more serious tone, is how it's coming through. Yeah, because how it's coming through is what might first start as flirtation will then slowly turn into something more serious. Like, now I'm not just flirting with you, now I'm courting you. Because I want to date you, or I don't just want to date you, I want to now try being in a relationship with you. And this could be the other way around, right? Maybe it's not you who feels or who is feeling this way, but the person who you are interacting with in this romantic setting. And the Five of Cups can speak about disappointment, but I do notice that we do have this person who is facing us, the viewers, holding 2 cups, and the person who has their back towards us seems like they just dropped and spilled the contents of 3 cups. And so the 3 cups here in the background made me think of like a third party or options, and the 2 cups that still have the contents in them that are still full make me think of the 2 of Cups in traditional tarot, which speaks about partnership and relationships. So I do feel like for those of you who are single, it seems like during this point you're going to give love or romantic love another shot. It seems like you're ready to start dating someone new, you're ready to open up your heart to someone, or possibly you're ready to commit. Commit to getting to know someone in a more romantic and intimate way. You're ready to commit to seeing a relationship through, is how it's coming to mind. Because this person holding the 2 cups, it's making me think of someone having become decided on a connection, on a relationship, on going all in with someone. What I just heard in my mind was, I'm committed to making this work. So that's how some of you might be feeling at some point during the 3rd month. And that's why we have the Ace of Pentacles in the upright, right? So this person facing forward is making me think that a lot of you are deciding to move on from your past. So if previous relationships didn't work out in the past, you're not projecting those past relationships onto this new relationship. It's like you're leaving the past in the past. Of course, you're taking any lessons that you learned with you, but any of the baggage, you're leaving it behind. It's like no more. This could also be speaking about some of you letting go of past connections that maybe didn't work out or came to an end. Like you're ready to start anew with somebody new, is how it's coming through. Others of you, this could be talking about starting anew or afresh with someone who you already know, with someone who maybe you were in a relationship with in the past. It could have been a romantic relationship, but maybe for some it could have been a platonic relationship. Because I'm getting a specific scenario of someone could be deciding to open up to someone who they have known for a good chunk of their life, but never saw in that specific way. There's a show that keeps coming to mind, but I don't want to mention it because I myself haven't watched it, so I don't think it will be a good reference because I don't even know what goes on in that show, but it keeps popping up in my mind. So I'm just going to share it. I'm going to say it because it could be a confirmation for some, or help some of you understand what the situation could be about or be similar to. And the show is The Summer I Turned Pretty, I think. Yeah, because I believe the premise of that show, again, I haven't watched it, maybe I shouldn't be talking about it, but I believe the premise of that show is that the main character is deciding between 2 people, and these 2 romantic prospects are people who she grew up with, I believe, right? Or she has known for a good majority of her life. But I don't know, again, I don't know if this is the case, but at some point she kind of had to decide, well, okay, I'm going to give this relationship a go. Like, we've been friends all of our life, but I'm going to open up to us becoming something more, romantic partners and not just friends, right? But it's a decision that the main character is making, and that, well, the other romantic prospects are making as well, to choose each other, to give a relationship a go, or to move a relationship to the next level, or to transform it into something completely new and different. So that's kind of the situation or the vibe that I'm getting for some, not for everybody, for some. But for others of you, I feel like this is talking more about healing, like allowing yourself to open up, or there's something here, but like choosing to be with someone, deciding that this is something that you're going to do and that you're okay with, right? So I like this energy because I feel like a lot of you are taking the time to go within and ask yourself, like, hey, yeah, someone came along and I have developed feelings for them, or I like them, and I'm wondering whether, hey, we're ready to open up and give room for this relationship, for this person into our hearts, into our lives, make space for this love to flourish and to blossom, and if we're ready to nurture it and possibly even commit to seeing it grow, to seeing ourselves grow within this relationship or connection, etc. It's like asking yourself for permission, and it doesn't feel, I don't know why the word condescending came to mind, or patronizing. It doesn't feel like you're compromising with yourself in any way. It's more like you're checking in with yourself and being honest with yourself as well. Like, hey, is this something that we really want, or is this something that we feel we should be doing? What I'm about to say might sound a little bit harsh, but it is the narrative that is coming through, which is this something that we actually want and desire, or is this something that we are doing or we feel we need to do out of desperation, right? So some of you could be taking the time to kind of ponder that, or just ask yourself, like, hey, what's going on? What's happening? Because I am sensing a lot of peace coming from the person who we can actually see their face in the Five of Cups card. And I like how they're wearing white, because white is known to symbolize purity and calm, peace of mind, clarity. So you're finding clarity on the third month when it comes to like love and relationships, connections. And I know I focus on romantic love, but for a lot of you, this could be pertaining to platonic love. And a lot of you could be deciding that maybe right now you don't really want to commit, right? You're not pushing that narrative of commitment onto yourself if you don't want it, if you're not ready for it. Some of you could be deciding that what you want to do right now is maybe just get to know someone, talk with them, or just get to know people, for example. But I do feel like whatever you are deciding upon, it is something that you're sharing with whoever this is pertaining to, right? So like if this is pertaining to a person, like the person who you are flirting with or dating or are involved with, you're sharing this with them, right? Just to make sure that both of you are on the same page. Like, hey, I'm not looking for commitment right now. I just want to date, talk, get to know you. Is that okay with you? And if it is okay with them, then that's something I see you doing. But if commitment is what you're looking for and you communicate that to this person, then maybe, communicating that to this person might be helpful to know if they are on the same page as you, if they are looking for the same thing. But, for those of you who have been in a relationship and you and your partner have been wanting to move your relationship onto the next level of commitment, on the third month of the next 3 months, you could either be getting engaged, or maybe some of you are already engaged. If you are currently pregnant, it is during this period that you could be announcing your pregnancy, or you could be hosting a gender reveal party. And there is an overall message here of choosing loyalty, commitment above anything else. I do feel like a lot of you are choosing something long-term and substantial rather than like short-term gratification. Now the flirtation is coming through as a distraction. Like maybe something might pop up at some point during the 3rd month that is there to distract you or kind of like tempt you onto a new path, or maybe to fall back into old patterns, or pursue something that will only offer you short-term gratification, something that will be short-lived, but maybe will have long-term consequences. And instead of you falling for, this temptation, you're staying true to you. So you're staying true to your heart is how it's coming through. Because I do see you deciding upon something by the 3rd month, or like it's like you're gaining some resolve, or you're making up your mind as to what is important to you, what matters to you, what it is that you want to commit to or continue pursuing. Because now the flirtation card is making me think that some of you could actually be flirting with certain ideas. The idea of maybe pursuing something new, or during this time you could be testing waters in different arenas, different areas, like looking into different career paths, or you could be exposed to new experiences that are kind of opening your eyes to what is out there, showing you more possibilities, giving you more or options. And then maybe that will help with you becoming a little bit more clear as to whether something that you have been pursuing and are doing is actually what you want to continue pursuing, if it's actually the thing that is for you or aligns the most with you, or if it is time for something new. Yeah, because with the 5 of Cups, I do feel like you are leaving something in the past. You are leaving something behind. And so for a lot of you, the 3rd month could be a month of closure. Because, for example, if you have experienced an ending recently and you're still kind of grieving or processing this ending, or if you've left something and you're still wondering whether it was right for you to leave this or walk away from it or move on from it, I feel like by the 3rd month of the next 3 months, you're going to gain some kind of closure or certainty. Definitely clarity. Like, okay, now that I've been exposed to all of this, now that I have experienced all of this, I now realize that, yeah, it was time for me to leave that, or it was time for me to leave that behind, or it was time for me to walk away from it. So I did do right. I'm okay, and I am at peace with my decision or how things played out or went down, because now I see that I'm exactly where I need to be. That's the vibe I get here. And I do want to say, okay, there is something that is coming up, but I want to pull out the last set of cards before I get too ahead of myself, because I just want to confirm. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to pull out a clarifier for each set of cards here. And I feel like I'm casting a shadow, am I? I had to pause several times throughout this reading because of that. Noise interruptions. Maybe you have heard me say this before, but I have very noisy neighbors. And I don't record in a studio, so the walls in the room I work in are apparently paper thin, because I can hear everything that's coming from outside. But to clarify versatility and the 9 of Cups, we have number 1, when life gives you lemons, and the key terms or phrases: make lemonade, optimism, perseverance, opportunity, creativity, and genius. Yeah, I did mention the word perseverance at the start of your reading, right? So yeah, it feels like during the first 30 days or the first month, you are finding your perseverance. You're testing waters, you're testing your skills, your abilities. You are learning to be versatile, flexible by trying new things, giving a few things that might be out of your comfort zone a go. And you are having a good time. It might be strange at first, or maybe even a little bit uncomfortable, but at the same time quite exciting and fun. Because during this time, I do see you being creatively, intellectually stimulated. And I do see you obtaining opportunities or looking for opportunities during this time to grow, to improve, to learn new things, to test your skills, challenge yourself in healthy ways. And you're definitely making lemonades. You're taking on any healthy opportunity that is coming your way. And you're having quite an optimistic outlook on things, on life, and on your future during this time. It's a pretty nice and good energy. The number 1 speaks of new beginnings again. It's also a number that speaks of leadership and assertion. So I do see you being the leader of your life during this time and kind of showing up as a leader through taking initiative and being assertive when it comes to your decisions, your decision making. Okay, but now I'm going to pull out a card for fulfillment and the Ace of Cups in the reversal. And we have bump on a log with number 40, with lazing around, loafing, inertia, false start, non-responsive, and disinterest. So the number 40 made me think of the 4 of Cups in traditional tarot, which speaks of boredom or disinterest, as this card says. So yeah, during this time, there could be something that isn't as emotionally fulfilling as you expected it to be, or something is not quite meeting your expectations. It could also be that something that was quite exciting to you at some point is not exciting to you during this point of your life. And it could be because you have outgrown it, because that's kind of the feeling I'm getting. It's like you're out. The reason why something is not meeting your expectation or is not as fulfilling to you, it's not because the thing is disappointing or it's not meeting your expectations. It's rather because you yourself have in a way leveled up or matured to a point where this is not as entertaining, as stimulating, as fulfilling as it once was. Because we have like a baby bear here. I'm going to give this example. Let's say a young student who loves math. Math is their favorite subject. And right now they're learning about multiplications. And they're the only kid in their class who has learned how to multiply. And because of that, they're kind of stuck still learning about multiplications. And so they're getting bored in class because they already know this and they want something a little bit more challenging. They want to know about division, how to divide numbers. That seems like a load of fun, but multiplications, not so much, not anymore, right? So that's kind of the vibe I'm getting here. It's like the very thing that might have been exciting you on the first month might not be so exciting to you by the second month, because you kind of already got the gist of it. You already got it locked down and you're ready for the next thing. Like, bring in something that is challenging. And maybe that's why you're feeling a little bit like, I still very much like this subject, but I want something a little bit more challenging when it comes to it. For others of you, it could be that you have accomplished several things and now you're kind of like thinking, what should you accomplish next? And maybe with the bump on a log, you're being advised to take a break, to enjoy yourself, allow yourself to be a little bit bored. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of boredom, because it allows for your mind to reset. It gives your body a break, and it sometimes even is the very thing that gives way for some kind of inspirational breakthrough. So you don't always have to be on the go, go, go. You can slow down. It's okay for you to slow down. And maybe some of you are, taking that advice and actually slowing down during this period. But what else I'm seeing is that because things are slowing down for you, because you're ahead, that's kind of the feeling I'm getting. It's like things might be feeling a little bit slow for you because you're ahead. You're ahead of the game. You're ahead of yourself. You're ahead of the schedule maybe. And because of that, you might be finding yourself with a little bit more extra time, free time on your hands. And that's when you might find yourself missing somebody, right? Or wanting someone to spend time with, to have fun with, to go out with, to talk with, right? To stimulate yourself with. That sounded a little weird. And so that could be when, you're kind of missing someone in specific, or you're longing for a partner. That could be when this is happening. Or it's just that at this point, because of this boredom, you are feeling like something is missing. Right? Like, I wish there were, I want something fun, I want something stimulating, or I want something to do. Yeah, especially if you are someone who is always on the go, or who is quite active. But now I'm going to pull out a clarifier for flirtation, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Five of Cups. This bear is so cute, by the way. And we have number 20 with if the good Lord's willing and the creek don't rise, with treasured objective, purpose, determination, smooth sailing, and assistance. Okay, so smooth sailing confirms something to me. For those of you who have been worried about your relationship with another, your connection, you're being let know not to worry. Especially for those of you who are worried about a romantic relationship, because what is coming through is that your partner is faithful to you. Your partner is faithful to your connection and or relationship. They're choosing you, and they choose you, and they continue to choose you. Okay, but with this card, the number 20 or the number 2 could be of significance, or any numbers divisible by 2. But with treasured objective, yeah, I feel like a lot of you are getting clear about what, the word purpose came to mind, what your purpose is, if that resonates with you, but more like what your objective is, what you care about, what is your priority during this time, right? During this phase of your journey. A lot of you could be becoming clear as to what it is that you're going to focus for the next phase or chapter of your life. It's like you're getting a clear objective is how it's coming through. Or you're getting more clear about what your objective is, what your treasured objective is. Yeah, and with smooth sailing, I feel like you're going to have a smooth start. Which is interesting because right before the card that came out up in the log has the expression false start. So if you experience anything like a false start in the previous month, like on the second month, don't take that as a sign, like a definite answer, because I feel like things will turn around for the better by the third month. Like literally that could have been a false start. You know, like when you turn the ignition, but you don't turn it all the way, so the engine kind of gives a false start. But that doesn't mean that the engine isn't working. It's just that we didn't turn the ignition all the way enough for the engine to actually be activated. I'm sorry if I'm using the incorrect terminology. But yeah, so by the third month, I feel like things are really going to get going, and you are going to have a smooth start. You could even be having like a head start of some kind, because with assistance, I do see you receiving some kind of assistance that is allowing for you to have a smooth start or a head start. And I also get the feeling that you are going to be giving yourself a head start. And I got excited out of nowhere. I do feel like with the boat here, you're setting off on a new adventure. You are definitely starting something new. And for a lot of you, I feel like, it could definitely be in your relationships, but I do feel like it will also be in terms of your career, higher education, like creative or business endeavors. Yeah, some of you could actually be planning a trip. And I did want to mention, and I totally forgot, was that for those of you who are in a committed relationship, who are currently engaged, on the third month of the next 3 months, you could be going on your honeymoon. Yeah, or you could be making plans for that. Plans to go on a honeymoon, plans to meet up with your significant other, spend quality time with your significant other, and you're really looking forward to this time together. Okay, but these are all the messages that are coming through. So now I just want to wrap up your reading by pulling out one extra oracle card to get any last advice and or guidance for you. And we have release the need to figure out your life purpose. Every step you take will help your purpose find you. I know a lot of people believe that we have only one purpose in life. And yeah, maybe that could be true. But also keep in mind that our purpose can manifest in different ways throughout our journey. So don't hold on to one vision or one way of doing things, because as you grow, so do your abilities, your skills, and the way in which you can shine, and the way in which you can bring your light forward and share your light. So just keep moving forward, keep living your life, keep doing you, being you, and you will always be right where you need to be, okay? Sometimes all that is being asked of us is to enjoy our here and now, to breathe, to be, to exist. I'm just gonna pull out one more card, and then yeah, I will wrap up your reading. And we have, you can be, do, and have anything you want. The world doesn't have to demonstrate it for you to know it. Yep. Okay, but things I want to point out: the color pink, bears, lemons, lemonade, hawks, owls, hummingbirds, doves or pigeons could be of significance, as well as butterflies, monarchs, blue, greenish butterflies, keys, keyholes, clovers, stars or star-shaped could be important symbols and or signs for the next 3 months. And the numbers 1, 4, 2, 3, and 9, as well as 20 and 40, or numbers divisible by 2, could be of significance. As well as cups overflowing could be an important symbol or sign for you guys, that all is well, you are doing well, and you're on the right path. You're on the right path, you guys. Don't stress so much about that, okay? But these are all the messages coming through for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance, some clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. Yeah, if you're new to this channel and you want to stick around for more readings with me, then please do subscribe. To all of you who took the time to watch the advertisements or just let them play in the background, thank you so much for that, since that is the simplest way to support me and to support this growing channel. So if you did, I truly do appreciate it. And before I sign off, I want to give a thanks to my spirit team and your spirit guides for assisting me with delivering these messages to you. And I'm wishing you a wonderful, you and your loved ones, a wonderful next 3 months. And until the next moment, bye-bye. Hello, if you were drawn to group 2, balance, bienvenidos to your reading. I hope the camera isn't picking up on too much background noise. I do have my window open because it's pretty hot where I'm at and I don't have AC. So I'm doing my best to not overheat and to prevent the camera from overheating as well. But there is a lot of pachanga parties going on in my neighborhood, so there could be slight noise. But anyways, let's get started with your reading. So one specific message came to mind when meditating on the energy of this group, which was, we've caught wind. And it led me to believe news will be traveling fast, which will lead to a very unprecedented and important announcement. So I do sense that there is some news that you will find yourself sharing with others or confirming to others, because I do feel like people around you are going to hear about this news or kind of get hints about it before you even announce it. And actually, some of you might not even be confirming or announcing it. You might just be letting people talk and keeping to yourself. But this doesn't make the news any less true. And are you any less excited about the good stuff that is happening to you or in your life, or the good changes you are experiencing? Because I do sense you being pretty excited and are pumped up about something. Okay, but with the balance card, I like this illustration because we do have what appears to be a tree person. It kind of reminds me of a mandrake. So mandrakes could be of significance, but what I like about this illustration are the roots, because it is symbolizing someone who is grounded, stable, balanced. So a couple of things are coming to mind. First is that in the next 2 months, you may be finding or regaining your footing. Some of you could be settling into a new place or kind of getting the hang of a new schedule, routine, system, possibly. or even environment, because I do see you rooting, getting grounded, and feeling at home with something or somewhere. You're definitely getting the hang of something. It's like you're finding your rhythm throughout the next 3 months. And you're feeling solid, you're feeling stable, or by the end of this 3-month period, you will feel grounded and a lot more in management. I also see a lot of you experiencing clear thinking, being clear of mind, having a clear headspace, and a more balanced diet is also how it's coming through, as well as a balanced lifestyle. I'm sensing good health, optimal health. So in the next 3 months, you might experience a lot of health improvements. The roots here are making me think of the nervous system, and the birds make me think of the breath, which is often used to regulate the nervous system. So you will be regulating your nervous system, or you will have a more regulated nervous system. I sense you being at peace, feeling at peace, feeling regulated. Okay, but now I'm going to move on to the cards. Oh, what came through, which will not apply to everyone, is for those of you who have an irregular menstrual cycle, in the next 3 months, your cycle will be regulated. I'm also seeing hair growth or healthier hair. But let us now move on to the cards. You are working a lot less or overworking yourself less throughout the next 3 months. That is, of course, if you are someone who works a lot or tends to overwork yourself or demand too much of yourself. In the next 3 months, you're doing things in moderation. Again, taking a more balanced approach. Yeah, you see? And then we have the 6th house with sun in Virgo with health. So you could be a Virgo sun or have Virgo in your 6th house. But you don't have to have any one of these placements for the messages to apply to you. That is if they do end up resonating with you. Because this card simply indicates that there will be focus on your health, or that you will be focusing on your health on the first month of the next 3 months. Ooh, and then we have the 8th house with moon in Scorpio, power. Power to you is the expression that came to mind. So too many cards. Okay. And then we have the 9th house with Mars in Sagittarius and the key term domination. And now I'm just going to pull out a clarifier for each card. I will start by pulling out a clarifier for the health card. Okay, so we have the King of Pentacles. And now to clarify the power card, we have the 4 of Wands. And to clarify the domination card, please. We have the Page of Wands. Okay. So the King of Pentacles is an earth sign, Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo. So you may be a earth, sun, moon, or rising sign. Yet with all this earth energy, as mentioned previously, during the first month or 30-ish days, you will be prioritizing and are focusing on your health. I do see that being the theme, and definitely on improving your health or your overall well-being. The sixth house is the house of routines, day-to-day activities, as well as health. And Virgo is known to be meticulous, detail-oriented, and well-organized. And then the King of Pentacles often depicts someone who is very mature and grounded, stable, dependable, hardworking, responsible, and practical. So during this period, you could be focusing on routine, creating a healthy and sustainable routine for yourself. If you already have set routines, I feel like during this period, you could be making adjustments to your routines to accommodate to your needs at this time. And because, pentacles can be a little set on their ways, at times they could be a little inflexible. I feel like you are being advised during this time to not be afraid to change things up or make adjustments if it is needed or if it's necessary. I was about to say that some of you could be cutting back, shortening your routines, but I feel like it might be the opposite, where you could be adding new steps to a routine, like switching out something old for something new, but still keeping the same amount of steps, let's say, in a routine. Because I do see you being pretty meticulous during this time. Some of you could be keeping an agenda, or you could be inspired to keep an agenda, to keep yourself organized. I feel like during this time, a lot of you could be trying to find balance through things like routines, systems, schedules or scheduling, organization, etc. And I think it is working for you. You are finding balance through that. Yet I do feel like a lot of you are being given a heads up or sort of reminded that the point of getting organized, let's say, is to help you feel less burdened, more grounded. And it's not so much about looking organized or put together, right? So if trying to be organized, trying to maintain a routine or have a routine is stressing you out or putting too much pressure on yourself, then you're probably prioritizing the wrong thing. Just to give an example, person A is wanting to take better care of their skin. And so they're looking up skin routines online. What are people recommending? And they come across a lot of articles and videos and suggestions about a 10-step skin care routine. And so they think, oh, okay, well, this is the routine I need to practice and stay consistent with if I want to improve my skin condition. And so they start following this 10-step skincare routine. But as time passes, they become more focused on staying true to the 10 steps rather than looking into if this routine is actually even helping them, if it's serving them, if they should maybe take out some steps because it's not helping them at all, it's maybe even negatively affecting them or their skin, etc. Right? So it's like, it's not about having a 10-step process, but rather about having a process, not mattering how many steps there are to it, that works for you. And that doesn't stress you out, because I feel like that's the point. You're trying to find something that makes your life easier rather than more complicated and stressful than it needs to be. So that's something to keep in mind. But I do feel like a lot of you are trying to be a little bit more structured, possibly even practical, because the King of Pentacles is very, very practical. Virgo is very organized and detail oriented, but with the King of Pentacles being here, I feel like what you're trying to do during the first month is create systems, routines, ways of doing things that makes sense for you, and that actually helps you, that is efficient, and most importantly, that it is sustainable. I keep thinking of the word appearances. What keeps coming to mind is that during this time, you're not trying to keep up appearances. You're more so focused on actually doing things that work and that feel good. And most importantly, that work for you. So even if it doesn't make sense to others, even if it doesn't look good, right? Even if it isn't aesthetic per se, though I feel like a lot of you do appreciate like a good aesthetic. So if that's something that matters to you, you could be prioritizing that because that is something that makes you feel good or motivates you. But if it isn't something that really matters to you, then you're not really making it a priority or focusing on it because you think you have to, right? Because what I was getting at is even if others don't get it, if you get it and if it's working for you, that's good enough, because this is about you benefiting from this. So during this time, you will definitely be taking care of you. You could be doing a lot of self-care. I'm also seeing something like practicing mindfulness techniques and or activities. Some of you could take to journaling, meditating, breathwork exercises, or like sound meditations. I heard sound bath meditations. You could also be gardening, cooking, anything that helps with regulating your nervous system or easing your nerves, or with you feeling at ease, feeling safe and grounded. During this period, you could also be doing a lot of physical checkups, or if you are due for some physical checkups, for a visit at the dentist, perhaps. I do see you scheduling in appointments or visiting the doctor. This will also be the time in which you might be getting a haircut or your hair done, doing a little self-maintenance. You could also be making an appointment with a masseur, a masseuse, or getting a spa treatment or some kind of treatment. And with all of these people providing for this one person in the center of the health card illustration, I do see you having a support system or being assisted by others. So if you need any kind of assistance, especially like medical assistance, you will be receiving it during this time. Some of you could even be making an appointment with a health insurance, or you could be looking into your health insurance during this time, possibly just to see what kind of benefits you have, whether you can receive certain benefits, because I do see some of you looking into counseling, right? Receiving professional counseling, or seeing if you can be provided a mental health service. You could be resuming therapy sessions or starting therapy sessions, whether it be cognitive, psychological, or physical during this time. Others of you could be reaching out to a spiritual or energy healer, doing some energy work, inner work during this time as well. It's all about you. It's all about looking after your well-being, giving yourself some tender love and care. It definitely feels or seems like you want to improve your health or maintain your good health. Some of you could be working with or receiving professional advice from a nutritionist during this time. Or you may be working with a personal fitness trainer, or investing money on like a membership, or maybe on equipment, like exercising equipment. If not that, then you may simply be investing time and energy on exercising, working out, or doing some kind of fitness training. Yeah, so it's all about creating stability, finding what works for you, what could help you, what does benefit you during this time. And, if you have been already working on improving your health, I do feel like during this time, you are going to see or experience improvement in your health. And that will only encourage you to keep on going. Keep doing whatever it is that you're doing, or to keep looking after yourself. I also do see you experiencing a bit of a glow up. So you will be seeing obvious signs in your physique, your appearance, your physical body, even your stamina, or possibly even in your focus, your attention span, your mind, of improvement, betterment. Also, there may be a King of Pentacles in your life who will be pampering you quite a bit this month. They will be treating you to some nice luxuries or treating you like royalty. You will definitely receive financial support or assistance from this person, as well as support in general. I see them taking well care of you by making sure you have everything that you need to feel and be comfortable, as well as thrive and glow. This will be someone who is quite financially well off, or they do have a secure or stable financial income. They could be a relative, spouse, or romantic partner. Yet, if this King of Pentacles isn't representing someone else, then it's representing you. A lot of you are realizing or coming to realize this month that you can be, or that you are now this King of Pentacles to yourself. Okay, so now moving on to the second month, we have the 8th house with Moon in Scorpio and the 4 of Wands to clarify. So the 8th house is the house of rebirth, transformation. It is also the house of shared finances, legacies, inheritance. So with the 4 of Wands, which is the card that indicates marriage or weddings, happy families, family unity, if you are in a committed relationship or if you are married, during this time you could be looking into joining assets, joining your resources with that of a partner or of your spouse. You could be looking into creating a joint account with a significant other. But if you already have a joint account or joint assets with another, a spouse or a significant other, during this time you could be looking to how to divide your resources, like what belongs to who, or you could be making plans or talking about getting your own personal accounts. Because I will say, with the word power, I'm getting 2 very different situations or scenarios here. So please use your discernment to know which scenario or situation applies to you. Because on one hand, I'm seeing a power couple dynamic, like 2 powerful independent individuals coming into union to form this amazing powerful bond. On the other hand, I'm seeing a situation where there's a bit of a power struggle going on. Like 2 people might not be seeing eye to eye because each one wants to lead in the relationship. Or if not a power struggle, this may be that one person in the relationship or the dynamic is wanting to be a little bit more independent. They're wanting to do things their way, or they want a little bit more autonomy within the relationship, right? And I do sense like some of you could be recently married, or maybe it is during the second month of the next 3 months that you are tying the knot, you are getting married. Or you could be getting engaged. You could be making plans to marry at some later time. And this could be the point where you are kind of talking it out with your partner as to how you're going to go about your resources. The example that is coming to mind, which might only be an example for some, while for others this may be your situation, or something similar to your situation, which is, let's say 2 people who are now getting married own their own house. right? Before these two people met each other, they lived on their own properties. And now that they're getting married, or maybe they're settling down together, they're kind of, talking about where they should settle down in. Your house or my house? Do you move in with me or do I move in with you? That sort of thing. Or, hey, we're getting married. Are we joining assets or are we just keeping it as it is? You are in management of your account and I am in management of my account. Or we have a joint account and we also have private accounts. How do we go about this? This also makes me think of like a couple who is talking about whether or not they should take each other's surname, especially if they're not wanting to go about things in a traditional way, where the wife takes the husband's surname or family name. Yeah, so this doesn't necessarily have to be a power struggle. It could just be more about like, hey, what are we going to do? How are we going to go about this? And you're just talking it out during this time. For others of you, I do feel like there could be a little bit of like push and pull, maybe at the beginning at first, and then eventually at some point there's going to be a mutual understanding. Yeah, because I also do see this being about roles in the house, like you take care of this and I take care of that, or we share responsibilities in all aspects of keeping a home or taking care of a household, the bills, the rent, etc. Yeah, so there could be for some a little compromising, because I did hear very clearly in my mind someone saying, I consent to this. So yeah, maybe someone is a little bit resistant to the idea of the other, but eventually they will agree to that, or someone might need to compromise, or there could be just a little bit of compromising going on from both or all individuals in this partnership or in this relationship or dynamic, for there to be consensus or some kind of agreement. The other situation I am seeing is someone is wanting to do something on their own. Right? Someone in a relationship, in a partnership, doesn't necessarily have to be romantic, though I do feel like that will be the case for a lot of you, is wanting to have a little bit more autonomy. They're wanting to invest in an idea of theirs. Like either they are wanting to start their own business, start a passion project, pursue their own dreams, or, if they haven't been employed in a while, they want to start working again, look for a job, or maybe they want to or are planning to go back to school and they're very set on doing this. Like they've made up their mind and they want to do this. And if they really haven't talked this out with their partner, then revealing this could throw their partner a little off guard. Doesn't say that they're going to oppose it, but might just throw them a little bit off guard. Like, oh, I didn't know that you wanted to go back to school, or I didn't know that you wanted to start working again. Let's talk about this, right? Because again, this will vary and depend on the situation, especially if this is resonating with some of you. Because for someone deciding to, let's say, as an example, go back to school might need certain accommodations or assistance, because the word accommodations keeps coming to mind. So I feel like someone in this relationship, partnership dynamic might be needing a little bit of assistance or accommodations or accommodating to. They might just need to adjust to the change, for example. Yeah, so this could be a period for those of you who are like in a relationship or who are in some kind of partnership, or there will be an adjustment period. But again, because the Four of Wands showed up in the upright, I do feel like things are going to get like regulated, like balance. If you feel like at the beginning you kind of lost your rhythm, or you still haven't found your rhythm yet, don't worry, because eventually you will. You will get adjusted to the new schedule or each other's new schedule or the new way of doing things. You will find something that works for both of you. Oh yeah, because I'm seeing like a happy marriage, or like a supportive partner, or a supportive relationship. So I do feel like that to be the case for a lot of you. But if you are struggling a little bit to meet eye to eye with your partner, I feel like with power, what is simply being advised is to not make this about wanting to one up the other. I don't feel like that will be the case for any one of you. It's just the advice that is coming through, along with being open to compromise, to negotiate, right? Understand each other's needs and each other's situation as well. To be able to be there for one another, help each other, and work together as a partnership, right? Or as a team if this involves more than one person. Because this could be talking about like a family dynamic. But as mentioned before, I also see a power dynamic, power couple situation going on here. So yeah, a lot of you could be coming into union or forming a union with someone who is very independent, who is wealthy, well established in their own career field, or who has something going on for themselves. You know, they have accumulated their own wealth, also their own knowledge, their own wisdom, because they have a lot of their own life experiences, as you do, right? And so you two coming together, it's like you're enriching each other's worlds. You're each bringing something different to the table that you can then maybe merge to create something beautiful if you wanted to, right? So a lot of you could be looking into maybe starting a business, or just, I feel like this is more about just like sharing with each other what you have learned, sharing your life with another. And this is something mutual, right? And through that, becoming the more richer, each one of you becoming the more richer and powerful, right? Yeah, and I love how we have the moon and the sun together here as well, because this does make me think of like counterparts coming together. The moon often represents the feminine or feminine energy or divine feminine, and the sun represents divine masculine, the masculine or masculine energy. And this, you know, and the sun and the moon being together, it makes me think of balance, right? And if you are in a power couple dynamic, this month you could be learning about co-leading, what it means to co-lead with another. Because if you are a strong leader, or if you are used to leading, so is your partner. And so you could be working on finding a nice balance where maybe you are okay with both being leaders, leading at the same time, or you're finding how to do that, or you're learning how to take turns when it comes to leading, so that one won't be always dominating in every situation, but it's instead a nice balance, because that seems to be the theme for the next 3 months, balance. But I definitely feel like during this period, you are going to experience some kind of shift, change, or powerful transformation when it comes to your connections, your relationships. I feel like there's going to be powerful transformation within a relationship. A relationship is going to transform, evolve, or there's going to be powerful transformation that is going to come from you coming into union, being in union, or uniting with another who meets you where you are at. And from there, you help each other grow. Yeah, and some of you could be receiving news that you have inherited something, or if you're married, it could be your spouse who has received news that they have inherited something. Yeah, but that might only be for a select few of you. And now moving on to the third month. So we have the 9th house with Mars in Sagittarius, domination, and to clarify is the Page of Wands, and the Page of Wands is a fire sign, so that will be Sagittarius, Aries, and Leo. So again, from the domination card, I'm getting like a power struggle dynamic. So I wonder if for some there's a little bit of like going back and forth with another. Or what else I'm seeing is some of you could be experiencing mood swings during this time. And if so, these mood swings, you could start experiencing them by the 2nd month of the next 3 months. because I do see for some of you some kind of like inner struggle going on or inner conflict. There's like this push and pull that I'm sensing. Now, what I thought of when I looked at the word domination is that maybe there's an emotion that is wanting to dominate. There's an emotion or feeling rising within you, and you're doing your best to push it down, to keep it from coming to the surface. And it could be because this emotion is uncomfortable. Some of you might see this emotion as improper, or the symbols of religion here made me think of that. Like, no, I can't feel anger or jealousy or envy because those emotions are bad. No, I have to suppress them, I have to repress them. But I feel like if there is repressing or suppressing, this repressing or suppressing is making the emotion even more like powerful, more obvious to you. Because emotions, all they want is to be felt. And so if they're being silenced, they kind of get a little rowdy. So if this is resonating, just know that anger, frustration, envy, jealousy, they're just emotions. I know they have like a negative connotation to them, and they are labeled as negative emotions, but they're only labeled as negative because they're uncomfortable. That's all. They can bring about a lot of discomfort. That's all. It's not because they are inherently bad, or you feeling them makes you a bad person. I think it's when we act upon our emotions, right? When we do something that is hurtful to others, or we justify harmful actions with our emotions, right? Like, oh, I screamed at you or yelled at you because I was angry, or it's okay for me to yell at you because I am angry. That's, I think, the no. Because you can feel an emotion without needing to act upon it. You can just feel it. And if you do need to like vent it out or release it through some kind of action, you can do an action that brings no harm to others and to yourself, right? Like running, for example, exercising, yelling into the night. But because the 9th house is associated with religions, higher education, beliefs, philosophy, higher learning, academia, sports, and foreign cultures, overseas traveling, I wonder if there is someone who is wanting to impose their beliefs on you, who is kind of wanting to, with this Mars energy, twist someone else's arm. And I meant that in a metaphorical way. As in they're wanting to persuade someone to do something that person is reluctant to do. Yeah, and because we do have the 4 of Wands here, I wonder if you're still living with family, or if you have close connection to family, I wonder if there is someone in your family who is very imposing, who likes to do things their way and only their way. They like to get their way. It's like their opinion, their beliefs is the law in the house or in the household. They are very domineering, in other words. And so kind of either living with this person or trying to maintain a harmonious relationship with this person feels almost futile at times, because the dynamic with this partner is never of equals. It's always of they're on top and everybody else is like underneath them or beneath them, which makes it a little difficult to cooperate with this person or to want to even engage with this person. Because with the Page of Wands being here, I do feel like the page being the youngest in the court, there is someone who is feeling possibly a little controlled, and they're resisting that. They're totally not okay with that. What I'm getting from the Page of Wands is this train of thought of, I see what you're doing and I'm not okay with it. I'm not happy with it because I am my own person. I have my own set of beliefs and my own opinions. I'm not obligated to think or feel the same way you do. Yeah, so there I do see a bit of rebelling going on from someone who is feeling controlled or who is feeling a lack of autonomy in a situation, in a connection, in a relationship or dynamic. Also, with all these religious symbols, during this time, some of you could be distancing yourself from a certain religion, religious system, or religious beliefs. You could be changing your religion or your religious beliefs or just your beliefs. I do feel like some of you are kind of releasing yourself from some kind of hold that either a set of beliefs or a system had over you, or you felt like it had over you. And if it's not you, it could be someone in your family, someone that you're very close to. Because I do see someone saying no, or someone kind of starting to see what else is out there, like explore new things, feeling a little bit more comfortable with formulating their own opinions, having their own beliefs, and standing firm when it comes to them. And that could be the thing, them doing this, that is setting them apart or having them stand out. Yeah, this Page of Wands is making me think of like the black sheep in a family or in a group. So maybe some of you have always felt like the black sheep in your family, or if you've always had strong beliefs of your own, this could be the time in which you're really vocalizing it. But I feel like a lot of you are choosing to, instead of vocalizing that you're against something or that you have different beliefs, you're just standing firm in your own beliefs. Like you become clear that you're not okay with something, that you don't share the same opinions as a specific group of people or someone in specific. Yeah, I get this feeling of I am different. Like everybody is different from each other, but I know that I'm different from you or from this group of people. I know that I don't uphold the same values as this community, for example. And so I know that here, it is not where I belong. Yeah, the Page of Wands is making me think of someone who is clear or has become a lot more clear as to who they are and what they stand for. And that is giving them the confidence to remain in their power or to take back their sovereignty or to feel empowered wherever it is that they are at or in during this time of their life. But I do also want to point out that it's important that we do not impose or enforce our own beliefs onto others. Because when we start doing that, things get pretty messy and we kind of forget morals and ethics, and we lose ourselves when we start trying to force others to see our way or to walk in our shoes or walk on the path that we are walking on. It's no bueno. And it's also important to remember that although we often recommend to, be the main characters of our own lives, that other people are also living their own lives. Other people are also the main characters of their own lives. And so as our dreams are important to us, the dreams of others are also important to them. And they're not any less important than our dreams. So we should never feel like we need to silence another or push another down in order for our voice to be heard the more louder, for us to succeed, for us to level up, because that's not the way. I don't believe that to be the way. And so I hope no one here resorts to any guilt tripping in order to persuade another to follow through with something or see their way, because that's not the way. And I also feel like this could be a situation in which someone is maybe trying to be a little bit more independent, do things their way, kind of find themselves by formulating their own opinions and taking a more unconventional approach, experimenting and so forth. And someone else might not be very happy with that, especially if this is something new, like something new in that dynamic. It's making me think of like a parent with their child who is now like an adult and they are wanting to maybe leave the home, live separately from their parents, maybe travel, explore the world, and the parent's not very okay with that because they're used to either looking after their child or they become very dependent on their child emotionally dependent or emotionally attached, or they're so used to overseeing their child's life. And so seeing their adult child just wanting to be themselves and live their life could really ruffle their feathers, because parents just seeing it for what it is, their adult child wanting to fly out of the nest, they're seeing it as an act of rebellion, right? As the child wanting to push them away, when in actuality it's not like that, right? And that could happen in any situation. It doesn't always have to be like in a parent-child dynamic where like there's codependency, someone has become codependent, or someone kind of seeks validation through another, or feels valued only when another depends on them, right? And so when someone stops depending on them, they could feel like they're being left behind, or they're being abandoned or forgotten, or they could feel unloved when that is not exactly the case. So there could be some kind of like wounds, emotional wounds, or maybe even like traumas or something deeper that is going on that is creating kind of this reaction, or is creating tension maybe in a situation or in a household. But that's just an example. This could vary. But of course, that is no reason or justification to enforce anything on another, or to guilt trip another, or push someone else down, or pull someone back. But I do feel like someone in this situation is starting to kind of find their voice and reclaim their autonomy, or is starting to gain their own independence, or sense of self is how it's coming through, or is becoming more comfortable with being themselves, seeing that it's okay for them to be different, right? Or to have different opinions, to have different beliefs. That doesn't make them a bad person. It just goes to show that they are their own person. Okay, but let me pull out the last set of clarifiers for each set of cards. See what else comes through. So for health and the King of Pentacles, what more do we need to know about the first 30-ish days or the first month of the next 3 months? Okay. Yeah. We have number 9 with if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy, with self-love, relaxation, regeneration, satiety within, and replenishment. Yeah, the first month is all about self-care, looking after yourself, giving yourself some TLC, tender love and care. The number 9 could be of significance because we have 2 repeated 9s in your spread, or any number that is divisible by 3. Yeah, so you're treating yourself with love and care during this time. I do see you having some kind of self-care ritual during the first month, or you're really prioritizing that. Like making every moment that you're spending with yourself a nice experience. Like if I'm going to take a bath, I'm going to make it an experience. I'm going to throw in a bath bomb and light up some candles, put on some music to make myself feel good. Yeah, and a lot of you could actually be prioritizing self-care or alone time to relax, to unwind, because you're seeing that that's what helps you maybe regulate, self-regulate, self-soothe, ground, come back to center. And if you have been experiencing mood swings, for example, that could be the thing that you see actually helps with you feeling more at ease, at peace, calm. Yeah, some of you are realizing that you cannot just give and give and give of yourself if you're not replenishing yourself. Because it often happens that when someone gives so much of themselves that they're not left with enough to give back to themselves, they end up possibly resenting those who they gave of themselves to, or resenting the fact that they're always giving. Right? And that's not a good feeling, because giving could be a nice experience when we are willfully giving with awareness. And when the giving does give us back in return, because it makes us feel good, and we're not giving to the point of depleting ourselves, because it's never about depleting yourself. Yeah, I feel like this month You're prioritizing giving back to yourself and giving yourself time to replenish and to take care of you and look after you and make it all about you, because maybe you have been making it all about others for the longest time. So this month is about you. You are the priority. This purple candle in the background is really standing out to me. So some of you could be looking into candle magic, or you could be buying a lot of scented candles, or aromatherapy could be something that you will be exploring or experimenting with during this time. Also, the color purple could be of significance. You could be really drawn to this color, which is associated with the crown chakra, I believe. Yes. And it is also a color of royalty. So you will be treating yourself like royalty. Oh yeah, that is something that came through and I totally forgot to mention it, is that with the King of Pentacles, you could actually be splurging on yourself, or because I do see you being quite practical during this time, you're not holding back from investing on yourself, right? So like, for example, someone who's feeling really, really tense, like their body's feeling really, really tense, and they know that a good massage will do them well. They're not holding back on investing on a masseur or on a masseuse to get a good massage, because they know they will benefit from them. It will feel good and it will actually help them. Yes, so you will be investing on yourself during this time. Time-wise, energy-wise, and money-wise. Okay, but now I'm going to pull out a card for Power and the Four of Wands. The month of September could be of significance because Virgo season does continue and end during the month of September. Or Virgo season during September could be of significance. Okay, but we have bless your heart, the number 6, with friendship, appreciation, devotion, worthiness, caring, and playful teasing. Yeah, I feel like during this time you will be receiving a lot of support from a partner, maybe someone who is a romantic partner, but also is your friend, your best friend. Or for those of you who are in a romantic relationship or partnership, like a professional partnership is also what came to mind, you will come to realize that your partner is also your friend, because they're not only your spouse, they're not only your romantic partner, they're not only your business partner or associate, they're also your friend in the sense of they are here for you. They are here to support you and to listen to you, and they care about what you care about. They care about your dreams, your goals, your aspirations, your passions as well. Yeah, so I do see you having appreciation for having certain people in your life, you feeling appreciated. And yeah, with caring, it's making me think of you're realizing that you have a caring, loving partner, friend, a caring family member for some, or spouse. Yeah, even if at times you might butt heads, you still find that at the end you work things out together. And there could be a lot of playful teasing, yeah, between you and another, whether it be a romantic partner, a friend. I just see like playful bantering, playful and caring teasing as well. And I do feel like during this time you're going to receive the support from a friend. I do see a strong friendship kind of playing a significant role during the second month. But yeah, with devotion, this made me think of wedding vows. So a lot of you could be getting married on the second month of the next 3 months. And yeah, this could be like a small intimate wedding where you're just inviting your closest, most intimate friends. And it's going to be a very beautiful and special occasion. It's gonna be perfect for you, because you're gonna be surrounded by people who are devoted to you and who care for you and appreciate you, and who you care and appreciate as well. So you're going to take this day, this moment with you in your heart for the rest of your life. At least that's the vibe I'm picking up on here. Yeah, because the 8th house is also all about intimacy, and so is Scorpio. Scorpio's about deep feelings. Feeling deeply, going deep. Oh, okay. Something came to mind, but that was naughty. Yes, you could also be having like your honeymoon during this time. Oh, also the expression wedding anniversary came to mind. So some of you could be going to a wedding anniversary, or you could be having your wedding anniversary, or you may be renewing your wedding vows on the second month of the next 3 months. And it's the same thing. It feels like a very intimate setting. Your loved ones will definitely be there with you to celebrate this day or special occasion. Yeah, but if not, maybe it is you who is attending a wedding and it's gonna be beautiful. Yeah, some of you could invite it to be a bridesmaid. Yeah, because I see some of you supporting a friend, like being there for a friend on their special day. That's very nice. Yeah, and you know, with power here now, I'm thinking of the opposite. It's like, it's this beautiful friendship where if your friend is happy, if your friend is sharing good news, you're happy for them. You're not wanting to bring them down or wanting to overshadow them on their big day. Like, no, you're there to pump them up and celebrate them and celebrate with them and rejoice in their happiness, right? So that's the kind of friendship I see here, which is beautiful, like beautiful to see. And if this resonates with you, I am so happy that you have this kind of friendship, these kind of relationships, because we often talk about like romantic relationships, but platonic relationships, friendships, these kind of friendships are also amazing and like a dream come true. But now I'm going to pull out a clarifier for domination and the Page of Wands. So far we have 2 repeated 6s and 2 repeated 9s. 6s and 9s could be of significance. I believe there's a song called Sixes and Nines. So that song could be of significance. But we have 39 with stomping grounds, origin, nostalgia, memories, tradition, tribute, visit, past connection. Yeah, so during the 3rd month, someone, maybe you, could be going about things a non-traditional way, and that is ruffling another's feathers, especially someone who is very traditional or who likes to keep things traditional. Yeah, because stomping grounds made me think of someone like throwing a tantrum. So there could be someone who might be throwing a bit of a tantrum because they're not getting their way, or they didn't get their way and they're now kind of complaining about it. And you know, their emotions are valid, but just because someone is displeased with how another went about things in a non-harmful way doesn't mean that that person who went about things in a non-harmful way should change how they go about things to please the person who is unhappy, right? Because everyone has a right to live their life how they want to live it, if it's not hurting anyone or causing any harm. Yeah, but with past connection, someone of your past could be making a reappearance during this time, or this could be someone who you haven't seen in person in a while. Like maybe you still maintain communication with them, but you just haven't seen them in person for a while. Because I with visit, I do see someone visiting. This could be a family member, a relative. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting, but it doesn't have to be the case for everybody. Yeah, and you know, if you have like a relative who is very traditional or who is very demanding, authoritative, a little bit somewhat controlling, yeah, this could be the person who is, you know, making some kind of appearance or reappearance during this month. But I feel like this person doesn't really have to play a significant role in your life, especially if you choose to set very strong boundaries when it comes to this person. What else I'm seeing is that someone's actions or behaviors, and this someone could be a complete and utter stranger, someone who you just have a brief interaction with at some point during the 3rd month of the next 3 months, could remind you of someone of the past, or could trigger old memories that might bring about feelings that you have repressed or suppressed for a while, or might bring to your attention a certain wound that you have not yet either addressed or completely healed. And it could have something to do with like a codependent relationship, or like a power struggle dynamic, or it could have something to do with like religion, a belief system. I know this is not a very pleasant or happy message, so I will give a trigger warning either in the description box, comment section, or somewhere in the video. But I do feel like it's important to address because first, it did come up, and second, because I feel like you're being given a heads up about it so that this won't hit you so hard when it does happen, and so that you could remind yourself that you are in control. Especially if you have distanced yourself from this situation or any environment that felt like a little controlling or suffocating to you, because now you are in a different situation, right? Now you have more autonomy, independence, freedom. So this situation here, this trigger, might just be a way for you to heal and or for you to realize that, yeah, that's in the past. Like, I'm not there anymore. I'm here now. Things are different now. I'm a different person now. And that might help you separate the what is from what once was, or you're present from your past. It might also help you heal a wound related to your past. Yeah, because I do feel like there's going to be healing. Yeah, I feel like this period is all about healing, finding balance, and also finding inner balance and inner peace. So I feel like the third month could be a little bit cathartic, but it's also going to be very, very healing. I do feel like by the end of the third month, you're going to feel this immense sense of relief. Like if you've been feeling like it's been a little difficult for you to breathe because there's been something heavy weighing on your chest, I feel like by the end of the third month, that heaviness is going to lift or dissipate, and that will allow for you to finally feel like you can take a deep breath in and exhale with ease. And that's going to bring so much relief. Like, yes, I am free from that, or that whatever was burdening me for a while is no longer a burden. I am free. And some of you could actually be purposefully bringing up things from the past. Not to point fingers, not to blame or self-blame or anything of that sort, but more to reframe, rephrase in order to heal and to reclaim your power. Right? Because sometimes the way we look at past events or situations makes us feel powerless. But if we change our view on it, or if we narrate it to ourselves differently, kind of like look at it from a different angle, or become the narrator more, like, we can reclaim our power or feel less powerless about it. Like, no, that situation no longer has a hold on me. Actually, now that situation depends on me to continue existing or living, because it's only through my memory, my recalling of it, me talking about it, that it continues breathing. So no, it does not hold any power over me. And I will no longer let it hold any power over me. Okay, but now I'm going to draw out some extra oracle cards again. Last messages, advice, and our guidance. The color pink could be of significance. I'm seeing a lot of pink here. It showed up in each of the 3 cards, the clarifying cards. So you could have a aura that is predominantly pink, or the color pink could be your favorite color, as well as purple, or you could be very drawn to these colors. But we have good things are happening to you too. Remember this and know there is plenty for everyone. So some of you could be coming out of a scarcity mindset to adopt a more abundant mindset. I did speak about envy and jealousy. So if those are emotions you experienced in the past because you felt there wasn't enough to go around, like for example, believing that if somebody else wants something, that meant that you lost something, or you lost your chance, or you lost some kind of opportunity, like it was taken from you by this person who was now experiencing something good. And these kind of beliefs and mindset are what brings about feelings of envy and jealousy. Or those feelings are kind of based on those beliefs or ways of thinking. And so if that was your experience, I feel like that's something that you're kind of becoming aware of and healing, and realizing that, hey, no, someone experiencing something good doesn't mean that I don't get to experience something good as well. It just is confirmation that, hey, it's possible. It's possible to experience happiness and joy. And if someone was able to achieve their dreams, and I was able to witness that and be a witness of it, that only lets me know that I am closer and closer to achieving my own dreams, that I can. It's like universe confirming to me, like, hey, yeah, you can, so keep on going. I'm noticing that we have 2 illustrations or images of like a sun and moon aligning. So an eclipse or an eclipse season could be of significance, or the period of an eclipse season could be an important time, or this imagery could be an important symbol or sign. But we also have, it's possible to work your way out of doubt. Practice focusing on good thoughts, like what can be and what is becoming instead of what is. Yeah, so a lot of you could be like working on like reframing thoughts, managing your temper, working on emotional regulation. You could also be practicing on directing your focus, your attention, also how to redirect your focus, realizing that you can, and learning how to bounce back. These springs here made me think of bouncing back, because there's nothing wrong with having like a negative or a pessimistic thought or feeling sad, feeling down. It's more so about learning and realizing that we can bounce back out of that. Like if you experience sadness, that doesn't mean that you have to stay sad because you felt sad. No, you can feel sad for a moment and then feel good again. There's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't make your sadness or what you experienced before any less valid. You could have moments of doubt and then have moments of clarity. It's perfectly fine. That doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong or that you're pulling yourself back. It just means that you're possibly going through the motions. You know, emotions, they fluctuate, and our mind is like a vast ocean. It's very complex. It's bound to go through a lot of different thoughts in a singular moment and within the day. So if a negative or a pessimistic thought crosses your mind, or you indulge a doubtful thought, the important thing is that you remind yourself that you can think differently, right? You don't have to sink in any deeper into any thought or feeling that isn't really serving you. And it's like, you know, it's like if you fall down, you can give yourself a hand to pull yourself back up. You don't have to stay down, in other words. Okay, but anything else? I just want to pull out one more card and then I will end your reading. Yeah, so you could be working on or investing time on your mental health, mental well-being throughout the next 3 months. And it will be a very good investment, or it's going to be a very good investment, I think. Oh, wait. This card flipped over and it's notice the signs. Notice the signs you've been receiving. It's not mere coincidence, but a special message just for you. So there could be a lot of signs that you will be seeing throughout the next 3 months. You could also be experiencing a lot of synchronicities. Dolphins could be of significance. And again, we have the moon and the sun. So this could be an important imagery, symbolism, the moon and the sun. Okay, see anything I want to point out? So the zodiac signs Virgo, Scorpio, and Sagittarius could be of significance. We also had earth signs in general, as well as fire signs in general. Yeah, but these are all the messages coming through for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance and clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. And if you are new to this channel and you wish to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. Thank you so much for watching until the very end, and a huge thank you to all of you who took the time to watch the advertisements or just let them run in the background, since that is the simplest way to support me and to support this growing channel. So if you did, I truly do appreciate it. And before I sign off, I want to give a thanks to my spirit team and your spirit guides, as well as any other being of light who came through for assisting me with delivering these messages to you. And I'm wishing you and your loved ones a wonderful next 3 months, and until the next moment, bye bye. Hello, if you were drawn to group 3, bienvenidos to your reading. So right off the bat, I sense that there's going to be some kind of cleansing, purification happening at some point in the next 3 months. It feels like you are about to experience some kind of renewal. Could be a rebirth of sorts, either personal or in an area of your life. But I do get this feeling of starting over, starting anew, starting afresh, with a new mindset, mentality, and newfound vigor. Since this is a timeless reading, I'm not quite sure when you are tuning into this video, yet if Halloween's Eve is approaching, or it happens to fall within the next 3 months. The day of Halloween or the days before or after Halloween could be pretty significant. I'm getting the number 3, so it could be 3 days before or after, or a window of time of 3 days. I say this because the expression witch hour came to mind, which immediately made me think of Halloween or Halloween's Eve. Yeah, but some of you could definitely identify as a witch. And if so, this could be serving as some kind of confirmation. Or maybe at some point, you could be joining a witch circle or healing circle, or be doing some kind of ritual, maybe fire ritual, to cleanse, release, purify, and or welcome in a new beginning, a new era. But the element of fire could be of significance. You may be a fire, sun, moon, or rising sign, or a fire season. So like Sagittarius, Leo, or Aries season could be of significance, could be an important time of transformation, renewal, rebirth, or culmination. I will say there was a point when meditating on the energy of this group that I just wanted to start the reading. I just wanted to get going. So at some point in the next 3 months, you could feel quite energized and ready to go, ready to get started or get something started. Yeah, because what I'm hearing in my mind is someone saying, I just want to go, let's go. So yeah, you could be feeling very ready or eager to get going, get started, or take action at some point in the next 3 months. Okay, but now I'm going to move on to the cards. Okay, so I'm going to try one more time for the first month. We have, ninth house with Mars and Sagittarius, the key term domination. And this card fell out for group 2 as well. So maybe you were also drawn to group 2. And for the second month, we have 11th house with Moon in Aquarius and the key term independence. What also came through is, because this is a timeless reading, maybe at some point you selected group 2 and then you stumbled upon this video again, felt inspired to click on it, and you ended up selecting group 3 this time around. So this could be like a continuation. But what are the odds that that would actually be the case? What is the likelihood? Let's see. But for the third month, oh, interesting. We have Sun in Virgo, the 6th house with health, and this card also fell out for group 2. It could definitely be the case that you were torn between group 2 and 3, or you've decided to watch both. But now I'm going to pull out a clarifier for each oracle card. So can we please get a clarifier for the card combination? And we have the Ace of Wands. Okay. And can we now get a clarifier for the card Independence? Wow, and we have the 8 of Pentacles. And now a clarifier for the card Health, please. Okay. I was thinking, one clarifier, please, one clarifier. And as I was thinking of that, I thought to myself, watch them give me 2 clarifiers instead of 1, because I asked for one clarifier. And yeah, two cards ended up falling out. So I'm getting a bit of a rebellious energy because this response here, me getting 2 clarifiers when I asked for one, reminds me of oh, you say no? Well, I say yes. You told me not to, and now I want to do it. You told me I couldn't do it, now watch me do it. That kind of energy or rebellious vibe. But we have the 3 of Pentacles and the Page of Cups. Oh, very sweet. Okay. So for the first month or the first 30-ish days, we have the 9th house with Mars and Sagittarius. The key turn domination, and to clarify is the Ace of Wands. So interesting that we have a number 9 and a number 1, because 9s are typically interpreted as a number of endings. Me personally, I interpret it as a number of getting ready to wrap things up. The number 9 to me is that stage where you're packing things up in order to prepare for a physical move, right? And then aces or ones depict new beginnings. So it feels like at the start of the next 3 months, you are getting ready to wrap something up, to either leave something behind or bring something to an end, to welcome in something new, or to step into something new. And what came to mind very strongly was the expression, you are so ready. So if you have been feeling low on energy, uninspired, physically drained, without motivation, on the first month, you are getting your spark or your mojo back. You will be feeling re-inspired, reinvigorated, and you will definitely be regaining your drive and desire to thrive. So this could be the month where you're not wanting to, let's say, waste any time, because you're ready to go. You want to get started, you want to get going. And wands are associated with the element of fire, and the zodiac sign Sagittarius is a fire sign. And fire represents passion, vigor, vitality, excitement. So on the first month, I see you full of stamina, energy. You're wanting to dominate in a way. With this Mars energy, you're ready to take action, create, make things happen. During this time, you might be finding it very difficult to slow down, pause, take a break, take a breather, or even practice patience. Because all you want to do is get up and start moving. You could be feeling pretty antsy, like you've got ants in your pants, because you're experiencing the restlessness of your spirit, of your soul, to get out there, maybe to travel, to claim your independence, your freedom. There's something I feel that you're so ready to just either get over or get going with. With the 9th house being the house of foreign cultures, languages, overseas traveling, higher education, philosophy, beliefs, religion. Some of you could be catching the travel bug. Is that what it's called? Is that the correct expression? Where you're eager, wanting to travel, maybe overseas, abroad, or it could just be like travel around, visit new places, be out and about. If not physically travel, you could feel this strong desire to travel or see or explore new places through reading books about foreign lands, learning about foreign cultures. Because I do see this desire to expand your mind, expand your knowledge. Right now, what I heard in my mind was the world is too little, it's too small. And that made me think of someone wanting to widen their social circle or just enrichen their inner world, their world. I'm definitely sensing a lot of passion. Some of you may be entering into a very competitive field, industry, or you may be competing or going up against others for a prize or a spot. it does feel like during this period, some of you may be wanting to dominate a certain field, a career, a profession, an industry, or be at the lead. The illustration in the domination card is making me think of someone who is wanting to, I'll use the word master. Some of you may be wanting to master a subject or topic. I get this feeling of, okay, give me the next challenge that will either prove my skills or challenge my skills so that I can level up or move on to the next level. Come on. Bring it on. Yeah, it's like wanting to run through a whole lesson. I'm thinking of like school, academia, in a short amount of time. Wanting to master something quickly or wanting to master something to be able to move on to the next thing. There's this eagerness of wanting to take on more. So at some point during the first month, you could be feeling this rush, or you could find yourself rushing through things. And it's not because you're necessarily being pressured by anything or anyone. I don't even feel like it's because you're pressuring yourself to rush through anything or move on to the next thing. I mean, that could be the case for some, but I don't really feel that to be the case. This feels more like you're simply going at the pace that feels natural to you at that moment. You know, it's like I'm being given the example of an engine. Like once the engine gets started, like let it roar, let it do its thing. You know, it's like when someone has so much energy that because they don't want it to build up, they start looking for ways in which they can exert it or channel it in a conducive and healthy way. And I feel like for a lot of you, this is how you're choosing to channel it, which is into your passions, into your interests, or into facing challenges that help you grow, expand your knowledge, or improve your skills. Or this could be a heads up for some of you that during this time you will find yourself with a lot of energy. And so if you do, or when you do start feeling antsy or restless, then that could be a good time to start looking into ways in which you can channel your energy in a healthy and productive way. So that in that way, you'll be the one directing where your energy goes, giving it purpose, giving it meaning, actually working with it, making use of it in a way that is purposeful and or helps you, right? Because this wand here is making me think of direction. That's what wands are normally typically used for, is to give direction to our energy. It's to help channel it in an intentional way so that it doesn't just end up going wherever. And also remember, if we repress and suppress, then things start building up. And if it's passion or creative energy that's being repressed or suppressed, then that could end up manifesting as frustration, irritability, competitiveness, anger. So it's best to exert it and channel it in a way that is healthy and helpful to you. And so this would be a really good month to, get something started, get going, get the engine running, and also to take care of anything that you've kind of been postponing or leaving to the side for a while now because you maybe didn't have the energy for it, or they felt too challenging for you, or maybe they intimidated you and that's why you kind of like left them to the side for a later time. There's a lot of interesting expressions that are coming to my mind during this reading. You guys could often receive like channeled messages, or your spirit guides, if you believe in spirit guides, are very direct with you. They could also have a very colorful vocabulary. But I feel like this month, those are the things that you can get done and over with, because I'm sensing strong masculine energy here. And masculine energy is all about action, taking action, making, doing, creating, building. masculine is assertive. And so you could find yourself being quite assertive during this time, as well as a bit daring. I will say during this month, be careful with getting carried away, because I am seeing a lot of reactivity here. So if not careful, at times you could end up reacting to things instead of responding to them. You could find yourself being quite defensive at times, because again, I'm picking up on a lot of masculine energy to the point where it feels a little off balance, like too much masculine energy and not a lot of feminine energy. And we all have both masculine and feminine. You can think of it as, the feminine being the yin and the masculine being the yang, which when in union create perfect harmony and balance. So because of this, there could be some impulsivity or a lack of patience, low tolerance, or some competitiveness. Because the example that keeps coming to mind is of a dare, like someone always looking for a dare, like dare me to do it, and I'll do it. Or is it a dare? Are you daring me? And making simple tasks into like challenges, or turning a playful, innocent game into a competition. Actually, for some, having this defiant or competitive attitude may be an approach you are actively taking to keep yourself accountable, motivated, or empowered. For example, you could be daring yourself to fulfill or keep a self-made promise. You may be using healthy competition to keep yourself motivated. You may be rebelling against your limited beliefs by defying them. Like, oh, what is that self-doubt? You say I can't make myself proud? Watch me prove you wrong, you beep. I know. A lot of you could be athletes. And during this time, you could definitely be training. I'm also seeing a lot of exercising. So you could be exercising quite a bit. Some of you could be starting or resuming a fitness journey. Others of you could be bodybuilding during this time. The illustration here makes me think of wrestling, as well as martial arts. It makes me think of Olympians. So yeah, some of you could definitely be training or just exercising your body quite a bit. Or some of you could be choosing to exercise or to do some kind of sports or physical activity as a way to kind of burn energy or channel all this passion in a healthy way to your well-being, to your physical well-being. If you are competing or going up against others, if you do happen to be tested or evaluated on this month, know that on the day of, you will be ready and well prepared to face whatever is presented to you. Your efforts, determination, and drive to win, do well, succeed or overcome will pay off this month. The Ace of Wands screams number one, victory and success to me. And the word domination reminds me of the expression dominating the charts. So you may be dominating the charts or dominating a field, dominating the competition, or you will be at the lead this month. The word preliminary keeps coming to mind. So some of you could be moving on to the preliminaries or moving on to the next stage, the next step, level. I see you being on fire. In other words, you're acing things, you're passing things, you're doing well. Okay, but now I'm going to move on to the second month of the next 3 months, and we have the moon in Aquarius, the 11th house with independence, and then the 8 of Pentacles to clarify. Yeah, so a lot of you could be claiming your independence, or in the next 3 months, you could find yourself being a lot more independent. Maybe you're becoming financially independent. You may be making your own money. You could be starting something of your own during this time, or you're continuing to work on and focus on something that you started on your own, that is or was your idea. Because I do see you working hard. The Eight of Pentacles is all about dedication, concentration. And so if you are currently unemployed, or if you depend on another financially, during this time, it's very likely that you will have a job, be working and earning your own money. What else I'm seeing is that you could be starting something of your own, like starting your own business, working on a passion project. If you are already employed, self-employed, if you are a freelancer, if you have your own business, during the second month of the next 3 months, you will be focusing on your business. I do see you creating or working behind the scenes to improve something. It could be like improve your business. What else I'm seeing is there will be a time in the second month of the next 3 months where you will be planning quite a bit. I do see some of you kind of coming up with prototypes. It's like you're running tests behind the scenes because you're planning on releasing something new to maybe an audience, a clientele, an industry, or presenting something new to a customer or a client. This is a very specific example, which is that of a shop owner who is coming up with new products to sell or present in their shop, right? And they're working extra hours, or they're working behind the scenes to kind of perfect their products, to get something right. Maybe not get it perfect, but get it just right, that they feel good about it enough to showcase it, to sell it, to promote it. Yeah, but I do feel a lot of you could be freelancers, self-employed, you could be content creators, or you could be very, very creative, because Aquarius tends to be very ingenuitive. The word inquisitive came to mind. And Aquarius is also known to be quite rebellious, in the sense of they don't follow the status quo. They like to kind of march to the beat of their own drum, stand out from the crowd. With the word independence, during this time, you could definitely be wanting to stand out from the crowd. Or that's the intention. Like whatever it is that you're working on this with the intention or the purpose of standing out. Maybe of calling in attention, positive attention. Or it could be something like to boost sales, to gain more traction. Or it could also be to entertain, to improve engagement. But independence is also making me think that whatever it is that you are focusing on during this time, you're also focusing on it because you are wanting to entertain yourself. You're wanting to keep yourself engaged, right? If you're making changes or adjustments, it is because you are wanting to either deepen your connection with what it is that you do, or elevate your work to keep yourself stimulated and keep that flame of passion for what it is that you do very much alive, right? Because now that I'm looking at these cards, I'm getting a bit of like reinvention. So some of you could be reinventing your career, your line of work, your profession. The example of a YouTube channel came to mind. So I wonder if some of you do have a YouTube channel, or you do have a social media presence. And so this could be something like at this point you're looking to reinvent your channel, or you're getting a lot of ideas. Some of these ideas might have come to you in the night when you were asleep, through a dream, and then you're feeling inspired to work on these ideas. And without you realizing, these ideas are leading you into something new. They're kind of like asking of you to experiment and try something new, test your skills, or obtain new skills. And without realizing, you might end up reinventing your business if you have a business, or your YouTube channel, or your social media page if you have one. It could even be your image or your creative process. Whatever your work status is, I do feel like during this time, you're going to feel the strong urge and pull to work on something of your own. Like, dedicate time to create something that you're feeling very passionate about. And I want to clarify that it doesn't have to be the case for every single person who this is resonating with, that this, which you end up working on, will have something to do with a business, right? A career or professional line of work. This could end up becoming a passion project or a hobby. Because I do get the feeling that for some, you might not even think much about this. All you know is that you had this idea and now you want to get started on it. And you're setting time aside to work on it. Yeah, it could be something like, hey, you know what? It's been a while since I've done something that I'm only interested in. And recently I've been quite interested in pottery, ceramics. So you know what? I'm gonna take a pottery class, or I'm gonna teach myself how to work with clay, or I've been quite interested in jewelry making, and so I'm going to start making jewelry. Yeah, I'm just gonna do it as a pastime, as a hobby. And then once they get started, they become more involved in it. And what just seemed like an interest now becomes a hobby, and what just seems like a hobby now becomes a passion. And then it becomes a skill or a profession, or maybe just something that is very personal to the individual, something that keeps inspiring them and allows for them to channel their inner passion and explore their inner creativity and express themselves. But I do see you working on something during this time, and I do see you very focused, quite determined, and at times serious about what it is that you're doing. Even if you might not really have any intention of taking this any farther or taking this any certain direction, I still see you being quite serious or invested in it more like. But for a lot of you, I do feel with the Eight of Pentacles that this will be something related to work, or this might be something that at a later time you will end up making into a profession, career, or you will turn into a business, end up monetizing it. For some, this could even be something that you will end up teaching others. Whatever it is that you learn through this, you will end up teaching others. Because I do sense a strong desire to want to improve or want to master something, or again with the expressions, they just pop up in my mind out of the blue, and I don't normally use these expressions. I'm just gonna share it with you so you can kind of get an idea of what kind of expressions keep popping up in my mind. So what came to mind was make something your butt. So I feel like in the next 3 months, you're going to be in this go-getter energy where the word quit won't be in your vocabulary. Because I do sense that you will be starting something new. If not starting, it could be like learning something new or trying something that you're not very familiar with, in other words, or possibly testing or challenging your skills a bit. But whatever the case it may be, or it will be, this will put you in a spot where you will be sort of like a beginner or a student, learning, practicing, trying, getting better at something the more you practice it. And so there will be some trial and error. There will be moments in which you're trying this new thing and you might not get it right away. You might make some mistakes, or you might need to redo it, or you might need to study and practice. But you're not letting that get you down. It's like, instead of it discouraging you, it's only fueling you to just keep on going. Again, it's that challenging energy I was picking up on during the first month. Like someone learning how to bake, right? They're like, oh, you're challenging my baking skills, dough, by not rising? Well, then I take your challenge, dough, and I'll make you rise this next time. You just watch me. And so they try again until they make the dough rise how it's supposed to rise to bake the bread that they intended to. That's kind of the energy I'm getting here, which is quite fun and a bit endearing, I will say, because I do see you having a blast. Since you are learning a lot, and you're learning a lot about yourself, and I feel like this is also helping a lot of you kind of manage your tempers, how it's coming through, or feeling comfortable with practicing and getting better at something, as well as getting comfortable with discipline, like healthy discipline and healthy motivation, not running away from challenges, for example, as well as not fearing failure, not fearing making a mistake. When there is an opportunity to try again and improve and do better, or just simply learn, keep practicing. So during this month, I see you pouring into your work, business, passion, profession, craft, studies, and hobbies, or even yourself. Because I feel like this is about yourself as well. This is about you working on something that excites you and that helps you grow and improve as a creative, a professional, and also stimulates your mind. Maybe gets your mind off of things that don't really serve you, or it helps you redirect your focus away from tendencies and or habits that weren't really serving you. Because I'm seeing this as being a healthy distraction, or kind of like a soothing balm for the mind, or medicine for the soul, which is really nice. Yet again, now just a heads up, it's important to not overdo it by relying on this too much to the point where you find yourself depending on this for a sense of worth, value, or fulfillment, right? Because I feel like this here is meant to help you regain your independence or explore your independence. Yeah, but I do see you being pretty busy or keeping busy during this time. Some of you could be working on creating, building, or growing a community, or it could even be a following or your social media presence, if that applies to you. You could also be working on building or improving your reputation. I do feel like a lot of you do want to stand out or be recognized as one of the best. And I don't feel like this has anything to do with like pride. It's coming more from a desire of wanting to improve. But I do want to just to remind you guys that your worth, your value is inherent. I'm sure you have heard this before, but I hope you really, really know it and believe it so that you won't feel this need to prove your worth to anyone or anything. Also, be very careful with associating your identity with your work, what you do, your career, profession, because remember, you are more than what you do, study, and or invest your time and energy in. Yes, but during the second month, I do see you experimenting, exploring, working on a passion project or on developing your own skills, learning something new, making something new, and or further developing something that you have already invested time and energy in. Possibly reinventing it or just expanding upon it, okay? And now we're gonna move on to the third month of the next 3 months, and we have the 6th house with Sun in Virgo, and health, and to clarify is the 3 of Pentacles and the Page of Cups. So on this month, you will be prioritizing and are focusing on your health. You will be taking better care of yourself. I don't know why, but looking at the illustrations of the 3 of Pentacles and the Page of Cups, I keep getting this feeling of I'm doing this because I have to, not necessarily because I want to, or I'm doing this because I know it's good for me, but I'm not very happy with it. Because the people in each of these cards looks a little, at least to me, grumpy. So I get the feeling that during this time, you could be applying self-discipline and willpower to cut back on certain things that are maybe unhealthy for you or are not very conducive for your overall well-being. And this is making you feel a little maybe frustrated or just grumpy because whatever it is that you're cutting back on are things that you used to indulge in, right? That used to bring you temporary pleasure or some kind of short-term gratification. And this month, it's like, darn, fine. I won't indulge in that for my own good. But I'm not very happy about it, though I know it's for my own good. So that could be the vibe here. But the Three of Pentacles also makes me think of investing. So what else I'm seeing is that you could be investing on your health, your well-being. Again, although this is good for you, this investment is good for you, some of you might not be very happy with it, especially if you are someone who likes to save up or you like to invest your money on other things, because I do see some kind of compromising happening during this time, like, or a little bit of sacrificing, more like, where you might need to hold yourself back from purchasing a little treat because you need to invest that money on something healthy. You know, just as an example, let's say someone who normally purchases iced coffee from a coffee shop is now choosing to invest that money on a gym membership because they're deciding to cut back on caffeine or sugar and exercise a little bit more. You know, this is also making me think of someone who is maybe developing a healthier relationship with money or developing healthier, more sustainable spending habits. And so during this time, they are finding the willpower to not spend as much, not splurge on things. And although they know that this is something that they are intentionally and willfully doing for their own good, they might still not be very happy about it. Some part of them might not be very pleased with that. The part of them that likes to indulge or likes pretty things or likes to treat themselves a lot or give themselves whatever it is that they want without thinking of the aftermath, the long-term effects, and so forth. I say that because the Page of Cups is the youngest in the court. And the Page of Cups often depicts someone who is very childlike, very innocent, or youthful. And the person in the Page of Cups looks like a child who wants to go out and play, but instead they have to attend class or a lesson. And the Three of Pentacles makes me think of an adult who is attending a meeting that they'd rather not be in, but it's still a must, right? Or they're going in for a physical checkup, even though they would rather just stay home and binge a series. So this is the month where you could be doing a lot of the things that you have to do, you have to get done, but are not so very fun. Yeah, this makes me think of adulting. So you could be running a lot of errands during this time. During this month, you might have a lot of appointments, like an appointment with your physician, with your dentist, optometrist, and so forth. Some of you could be also scheduling in appointments with a therapist, because health made me think of like mental health as well. Yeah, but during this month, I feel like you're doing or attending to those things or matters that you've for the longest time said that you will get to, but haven't really gotten to until this point. Yeah, but you know, even though there might be a little bit of resistance, I feel like you're still doing the things that you're doing because you know that ultimately this is good for you. This is aimed at improving your health or maintaining your good health. This is for you. And the sixth house is all about the day-to-day. It's about habits. And with Virgo being here, which is the zodiac sign that is known for being very meticulous and well organized, prepared, very up to date with things, I just feel like you're keeping up to date with yourself during this time. And like I said, you're attending to all of those things that you know are important, but maybe not so fun, in other words. So you're being quite responsible during this time, which for some, being responsible might not be so fun, but it is something that is necessary. Yeah, because, the Page of Cups illustration is making me think of filling your own cup. So you're filling your own cup this month. Maybe with not a lot of enthusiasm at times, but you're still filling your own cup. And for a lot of you, I feel like this could be helping with building new habits or building a new frame of thinking, because the Three of Pentacles can speak about creation as well as like teamwork. So one thing that is coming to mind is that you're working with yourself this month, not against yourself, and that you are not being mean or hard on yourself when you're finding it difficult to get up and do something or see something through, or you're lacking the motivation. Instead, you're choosing to encourage yourself, to be your own motivation, to be your own cheerleader. And although I did mention that you're applying self-discipline this month, I don't feel like you're being super strict with yourself. Yes, I feel like you have set or you will set some kind of boundaries with yourself during this month. You might even make some promises to yourself that you're very much intending to keep, but you're also being quite understanding of yourself during this month, because the Page of Cups here is reminding me of the inner child. And so you're being very understanding of your inner child when your inner child says no, when they don't want to do something, when they're not very happy with something, when something is uncomfortable. And I think that's important because you're listening to them and adjusting, right? So it's like, this might sound like a silly example, but let's say it's reminding me of a child who doesn't like vegetables or broccoli, and so they refuse to eat veggies. And instead of scolding the child or forcing the child to eat the vegetables, the parent or caretaker finds new ways to incorporate vegetables into the child's meal so that it will be more appealing to the child, and so that the child won't dread eating the vegetables. It's making me think of like associating a nice memory with eating vegetables so that the child will feel encouraged to eat more vegetables. And so that's what I'm seeing here. It's like you're finding ways to make something more enjoyable to you. You're finding ways to encourage yourself and also to accommodate to your needs. And also to make things a little bit more exciting for you, because there are a lot of things in life that are not so fun that we need to like do or get done or get out of the way in order to continue on or move on. But it will be such a drag if we just push through all of the time, and with the notion or belief that adulting is not supposed to be fun, and so we just have to get through with it and push through, when we can make it fun for ourselves, or we can make it the more enjoyable in one way or the other. So I feel like this month, yes, you're taking care of you by maybe being a little bit more self-disciplined, but you're also finding ways to make this whole journey of maybe getting healthier or improving your health or creating new habits more fun and enjoyable for you. The word freebies is coming to mind. So you could be giving yourself some like freebies, some free days where you could just do whatever it is that you want, but still with the intention of, keeping true to any promises that you're making to yourself and keeping things in moderation if that is what you are intending to do during this time. So I do want to point out with Three of Pentacles that you will be seeing improvement during this time. I do get the feeling that a lot of you by this point will be on some kind of fitness journey. Maybe you're, as mentioned, you're training for something, or you're lifting, because I keep looking at the Three of Pentacles and what keeps coming to my mind is muscle. So some of you by this point could be looking more toned, or you could have more muscle, or you would have already built some muscle by this point. You could also be a little bit more leaner if that is what you were aiming for, or you may have more defined features or defined muscles is what is coming through. Also, I'm noticing that both of these people have like short hair. So if you have been wanting to grow out your hair, you will be seeing progress in terms to that. But some of you could be getting a haircut during this time. You could be getting a hair makeover, because I do see a lot of you wearing or modeling a new hairdo, hairstyle. So you might just be styling your hair differently during this time. And on this month, if you have been aiming to heal your relationship with your inner child and your inner teen or inner adolescent, you will be having a healthier relationship with them during this time. Or maybe this is the month where you're kind of healing your relationship with your inner child or inner adolescent. Because I do see you keeping them in mind by considering your own needs, considering yourself, your feelings, and looking after yourself, taking care of you. Okay, so for domination and the Ace of Wands, we have God don't like ugly with number 26. The key terms: nastiness, clash, strife, resentment, argument, spite, grudge, and revenge. Yeah, and this card sort of fell out in the reversal. So I'm going to consider that, even though I'm going to read this in the upright. So as mentioned previously, during the first month of the next 3 months, you're going to be channeling or feeling a lot of energy, and it could be getting pretty intense at some point. That is, if you're not exerting it or channeling it in a healthy and productive way. So if you find yourself getting frustrated pretty easily or feeling quite irritable, just consider whether you're feeling this way because there is built up energy. And if there is no way for you to channel or exert your energy in a healthy, safe, and productive way, then just be very careful and mindful this month of not putting yourself in any situations or environments that you know will ruffle your feathers or annoy you or get under your skin, because you could find yourself reacting fairly quickly. Because I'm sensing very low tolerance for anything that like normally annoys you or just kind of irks you a bit. Yeah, like for example, let's say if you are sensitive to loud noises and you're feeling a little on edge, you might not want to go to a place where it's going to be very loud or hectic or crowded, right? Because that could just end up overstimulating you. So just be mindful this month, because like I said, I'm sensing that there could be a lot of reactivity. And so it's good to be mindful of our emotional state and even our mental state, so that we can take better care of ourselves and also not put ourselves in situations where we might end up doing something or saying something that we might later regret or not feel so very proud of or happy with. Okay, so just careful here with like emotionally reacting, in other words. And also during this month, you might want to steer away from people who do rile you up or push your buttons. I know it's not always possible in some situations, but if you can, maybe distance yourself a bit from these people. That is advised. An example that is coming to mind is like the comment section. If you are someone who gets riled up by comments, people's comments, you might want to steer away from them, right? Like reading comments left on their posts or videos or anything of that sort, right? Because this irritability might also have you misperceiving things or perceiving things in a way that will further aggravate whatever it is that you're already feeling in that moment. Like reading a comment in your mind, in your head, in a negative tone, and that inducing anger when maybe the comment wasn't even negative to begin with, something along those lines. So just be careful and mindful of that this month. Remember that anger, can sometimes make us see in red. And I say that because we have like a little red ant here. But now I'm going to pull out a clarifier for independence and the Eight of Pentacles. Oh, okay, so two cards fell out together. And we have number 41 with It's Blowing Up a Storm. Strong momentum, sudden change, necessary shakeup, transformation, and hope. And then we also have, 14 with Aren't You Precious? Suffering, fools, disdain, displeasure, contempt, poking fun, read between the lines. So something that stood out to me is that we have mirroring numbers here, 41 and 14. So you might be seeing a lot of mirroring numbers during this time, or especially the numbers 41 and 14, but also the numbers 1 and 4 could be of significance. The zodiac sign Sagittarius is coming through very strongly right now. So you may be a Sagittarius Sun, Moon, or Rising sign, or someone who is a Sagittarius Sun, Moon, or Rising sign may be playing a very significant role in your life during this time. But let's see. Yeah, I feel like on this month, you are shaking things up a little bit. I feel like you're either desiring change or you're creating some kind of change by whatever it is that you're focusing on doing or is inspiring you. As mentioned previously, Aquarius is known as the rebel. And so yeah, you could be rebelling against the norm, or maybe whatever it is that you are doing and are creating is defying tradition a bit or shaking things up a bit in a specific field, arena, industry. It's for example, like, pick a card, general readings on YouTube. There's a lot of them, and listeners have become very accustomed to this format, this style, like pick a cards. I give you 3, 4, 5 groups, and then you select one of the groups and receive a reading, get a reading. But, there's other ways of offering free readings on YouTube. Like some people offer collective readings. And so in this community, someone could come along and say, hey, you know what? I don't want to offer pick a card readings. I want to offer a new format. I want to do things differently. And that could maybe ruffle some feathers in the community itself or among some viewers and listeners if they're very used to or very attached to this format of general tarot readings on YouTube. But it's also showing the viewers, the listeners, showing the community that, hey, there's other ways and that you can experiment and that you can explore to find new ways or to branch out, to expand on the ways of offering, general tarot readings online. Right? So that's just something that came to mind as an example, but, this will be different for each one of you, because for some of you, this transformation is something that you are experiencing more so within or your own sphere, your own personal space. Because you could be shaking things up when it comes to your creative process, or how you study could also be shaking things up when it comes to your relationship dynamic with maybe school or with career, with working, etc. But I feel like this is a good shakeup. This is something that, as the card says, was needed in order for you to evolve or for you to branch out or to expand upon whatever it is that you were already doing, focusing on, or working on. And I see this being as something good because we do have the rainbow here in the background, which to me is indicating like a breakthrough. It's also indicating that there's something good on the other side of this. Right? This is leading to something good. Yeah, so a lot of you could be experiencing some kind of breakthrough, or it feels like that, because it made me think of a scientist who's like on the brink of a breakthrough, and so they're just like focused on their work because they can feel they're so very close to that breakthrough. So you could be experiencing that at some point during the second month of the next 3 months. And so that could be very, very exciting. But please remember to take care of yourself, look after your well-being, remember to eat and to sleep, and that you are more than what you do. You are more than what you're currently focusing on. There is more to life than creating and producing and developing and experiencing breakthroughs, okay? So you don't always have to be on the go, okay? But with Aren't You Precious, I don't really like this energy. I feel like this energy is coming from other people. There could be some people who might not understand your fervor, your passion. Because like I said, I see you, during this time, I see you being quite passionate about what it is that you're doing. And if you're starting something new, if you're like experimenting, some people might not understand why it is that you are experimenting and are coloring outside of the line. Because they might think, if there's already a way of doing things, if there's already a format, and it seems to be working for a lot of people, why are you trying to do something that you don't even know if it's going to work out or not? What's the point of it? Like, why don't you just play it safe? Why don't you just do as everybody else is doing? Why don't you just jump on the bandwagon? And it's okay. It's okay if they don't understand, right? Because maybe they're not meant to understand. They're not the one wanting to experiment, right? It is you. So there might be a lot of inquiring. It could be from like people that you know or even strangers as to the why you're taking something in a new direction, or why you're so passionate about whatever it is that you're passionate about, or why you're choosing to invest your free time doing whatever it is that you're doing during this time. And it could be because of genuine curiosity, or some people might just be doing it to ruffle your feathers. But I feel like this is only fueling you to keep doing what it is that you're doing, right? Or you're not letting it bother you, because you much prefer to focus on your work, to focus on you, on exploring, on creating, on expanding upon your skills and tapping into your own potential, rather than entertaining these folks or their tomfoolery or possibly even troll behavior. I get a bit of like a patronizing tone from this lady in the Aren't You Precious card. And actually, if this isn't a person being all patronizing towards you, this could be about a little inner voice that tends to be or is often quite patronizing to you. So if you have a little internal voice that often belittles what you do or questions what you do, whose commentary has you questioning yourself, your abilities, or whatever it is that you are doing, your passions, that's who you're wreaking havoc to this month. That's who you might be defying and or rebelling against during this time. Or just completely ignoring, like, you say that about everything. So I'm coming to the conclusion that it's a you problem and not a me problem. And then dismissing that inner voice, treating it like something external, like a bully or an annoying fly. Because a lot of these voices or internal dialogue could be like projections that came from others that you kind of like internalized. Right? It's not actually you speaking to yourself. It's more like the echoes of things that you've heard maybe in the past. So if you've caught on to that it is that, then this month you're not trying to solve it, because it's not for you to solve, you're just dismissing it. And the only reason why this is coming up is because if this energy does end up, popping up in your life, you're being advised to not give it power by giving it attention. You can even use this as fuel, right? If you're someone who likes a good challenge, you can use this as fuel, like, all right, you don't think I can do this? Oh, remember, that's kind of the energy I was getting at the beginning, right? Like, oh, you don't think I can do this? Well, watch me. But this is not a message or an encouragement to do something just to prove another wrong, because that's not the point. That's not the point of living. Well, at least I don't think it is. The point is that you do something that you are content with, that inspires you, that you are passionate about, and that brings no harm to others, not even to yourself, even if other people don't get it, right? And if there are naysayers out there who are telling you that you can't, to use that energy, that negativity, and transmute it into like positive energy that fuels you to keep on going and keep on moving. There's a song by Lauf, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, and it's titled Billy. Oh, the name Billy could be of significance, by the way. And I'm going to link it down below, because the message of that song is a message that I'm trying to convey here. Just to give you an idea, there's a part of the song that goes, hey, well, look who's laughing now, 'cause Billy bought a brand new house. To all the people that were mean, he just channeled your energy. Well, look who's laughing now. Thank you for your doubts. To all the people that believed, he just channeled your energy. Right? So you can transmute things. You can alchemize. You can turn whatever energy is coming your way, you can use it to your advantage by transmuting it and alchemizing in a way that serves you and helps you and empowers you and uplifts you. So that's the advice for the second month. Right? And I want to be clear that this is not talking about constructive criticism, because I don't think it's a good idea to turn a blind eye on constructive criticism and pretend like everything is fine, because that could stunt our growth, and it could also keep us from becoming aware of things that maybe we do need to look into and become aware of. So yeah, my advice to you will be always be open to constructive criticism and feedback. Okay, but now I'm going to pull out a card to clarify health, Three of Pentacles and the Page of Cups. I keep hearing in my mind, it's not a phase, it's not a phase. It's a dream, it's a goal. There could be someone out there who is thinking, or a couple of people who is thinking that whatever it is that you're doing or going through is just a phase, but they don't understand that to you it's not just a phase. To you it's a journey, to you it's a goal, to you it's a dream. Like this is not just a phase. This is a goal I'm aiming to achieve. This is a dream I'm aiming to make a reality. This is a wish I'm working towards fulfilling. It means something important to me. It matters to me. It's not just a phase. Okay, again, 2 cards, and we have number 38 with sweet as a Georgia peach. Kindness, tender care, charm, beauty, flirtation, and delicious experience. I love this because I feel like this is talking about you treating yourself with kindness, giving yourself some tender love. Oh, and then we have 29 with come to Jesus, truthful communication, integrity, divine intervention, surrender, and reconciliation. So I see this indicating a reconnection with yourself. This month, you're reaching inwardly to connect and or reconnect with yourself, reestablish a healthy relationship with self. But I also see you being very comfortable and okay with reaching out for help. Yeah, like I said, some of you could be reaching out to a therapist to get therapy because you're wanting to improve your mental health or well-being, or you're wanting a space, a safe space in which you can just maybe vent or pour out or analyze your thoughts or just feel through your feels. And that's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine if you need to hold somebody's hand as you dive deep into your psyche, right? Or face some inner demons, face some inner fears or possibly insecurities. It's perfectly fine. And I feel like you're giving yourself permission to do that this month, which is beautiful. And then with truthful communication, I do feel like you're talking honestly. So a lot of you could actually be going to therapy, or you're being more honest with yourself about how it is that you feel, what feels good, what doesn't feel good, what you're running away from, what you're avoiding, any excuses that you are making to avoid something or not see something through. You're being very, very honest with yourself without judgment, which is the most important thing. Because you're realizing that honesty is no justification for meanness or cruelty. Right? You can be honest and sincere with yourself without putting yourself down. With beauty, this month you will be experiencing a glow up, and you will be feeling beautiful. You will be feeling good, and you will be treating yourself with a lot of tender love and care. And with divine intervention, this month, notice how you are interrupted every time you're starting to be mean to yourself. Because I feel like that's going to happen. Anytime you're starting to put yourself down or self-sabotage or do something that goes against your values, your morals, the divine will intervene. The divine will interrupt you. The divine will stop you right there to bring to your attention what is happening in that moment. and to give you an opportunity to redirect, to give yourself an opportunity to maybe apologize to yourself, be kinder to yourself, or to move things in a different direction that is kinder, more loving, and helpful to you or to a situation possibly. And you could also be, during this time, surrendering to the divine assistance, like letting for things to unfold when you feel like it's time to release control. You're allowing yourself to be guided at times or to receive divine guidance. I also feel a lot of you are reconnecting more with your inner being, becoming closer with spirit, the universe, the divine, by connecting more with your inner being. For some, your faith could be growing the more stronger or be the more stronger during this time. Your faith in a higher power, perhaps, your faith in goodness, your faith in beauty, something along those lines. Yeah, and I'm sensing a lot of sweetness. During this time, I don't know, but your vibe, your aura could be emitting like sweetness and tenderness during this time. Or you yourself could be feeling very tender. You're experiencing a lot more sentimentality, especially with the Page of Cups. You could find yourself being a lot more vulnerable, emotionally vulnerable at times, where you're okay with expressing your emotions and feeling your emotions, whatever those may be, or opening up about your feelings. Your soul could also be feeling quite tender, or you could also be experiencing some tenderness in your body. Peaches could be of significance. The scent of peaches could also be of importance. Maybe during this time you're going to be smelling like peaches. Or if you have a peach tree, it's going to be flourishing and blossoming, giving peaches during this time. Oh, and if you do end up exercising your gluteus maximus, the workouts are or will be paying off, because on the third month, you will be feeling quite pleased and proud with how your booty is looking and feeling. Yeah, so just a heads up. But I'm also noticing that we have 11, because if we reduce 38 by adding 8 and 3, we get 11. And then if we reduce 29 by adding 9 and 2, we get 11. So we have 11 here. So that number, angel number, could be of significance. A lot of people see, whenever they see that number, they immediately make a wish, or that to them could be an indicator of alignment, a wish being fulfilled, something manifesting. Others associate that with divine union or counterparts, but claim whichever meaning resonates the most with you, or if you like, you can look up what 11 means. You could also assign a meaning to numbers, by the way. And that could be a language that you develop to communicate or to receive messages from your spirit team, your spirit guides, your higher self, or the divine. Okay, but for your last oracle cards we have, you can have it all. You don't have to give up anything to have what you want. And another rainbow. So rainbows could be a good omen, an important sign or symbol that you will be seeing in the next 3 months, or at some point in the next 3 months. Rainbows can also indicate optimism, childlike wonder, fun, play, imagination. Another rainbow, and then we have, there's no limit to your capacity to enjoy this moment in time. Embrace it now fully. Yeah, so rainbows are definitely a sign for you guys, a good sign, a positive omen. Oh, and this card had flipped over, but I hadn't seen it. And it's, where you are is the perfect place to begin again, relax, reset, and try again. Yeah, so you're right where you need to be. Okay? Don't feel like you need to rush. I know sometimes the energy could be so intense that we might feel like we need to dive in or rush or go, but yeah, that could just be because you're picking up on like new beginnings. But that doesn't mean that you're not right where you need to be, because you are. Yeah, and remember, you can always take a moment to relax and to reset and try again later. Not everything needs to be done perfect on the first go, on the first try, nor is it expected to be. Okay? So let's see. The color white could be of significance, or the shade white. Tulips, roses, or just flowers in general could be an important sign or symbol. We have hares, rabbits, bunnies, birds, doves, ants, red ants, whales. Peaches could be of significance. The element of fire could be of significance as well. You could be invited to travel with friends. I'm seeing Scotland, Ireland, or somewhere in the UK, in England, London. I'm not sure whether you will say yes to this offer or invitation, but you definitely will be receiving some kind of invitation to go on a trip or to travel overseas. Yeah, so, if you're available and if you've always wanted to travel, I'd say go for it. Especially if you're feeling quite excited about it. Allow yourself to adventure out. By the way, the numbers 29, 38, 41, 14, and 26 could be of significance. These could be like birthdays, or maybe your age, or like an age group, 20s, 30s, 40s. And also the numbers 11, 9, and 6 could be of significance. They could be life path numbers, birth months. Okay? But these are all the messages coming through for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance and clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. And if you're new to this channel and you wish to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in my website. And the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. To all of you who took the time to watch the advertisements or just let them play in the background, thank you so much for that, since that is the simplest way to support me and to support this growing channel. So if you did, I truly do appreciate it. And before I sign off, I want to give a thanks to my spirit team and your spirit guides for assisting me with delivering these messages to you. And I'm wishing you a wonderful, and your loved ones, a wonderful next 3 months. And until the next moment, bye bye.